What's up, everybody, and welcome to the Press X Podcast, episode 127, your weekly podcast for gaming news and opinions coming at you each and every Monday, except for this time. I'm Kevin McManus. With me, Todd Broussard.
Hello.
And this is going to be kind of a special episode. E3 happened, all the press conferences happened, and we're just going to be kind of reviewing, ranking, talking about what we saw, what press conferences we thought were the best. Something different is going to happen in that after I'm done talking, we're going to cut to me and Nick talking since we watched EA and Xbox together. We'll give our opinions on that, so the audio is going to change. We're downstairs on a couch. It's way more casual. And then it'll jump back to us, and we can finish up talking about Ubisoft and Square and all of that. And we'll get some of your opinions on Xbox and EA as we have not talked about it. But next week, I do want to say that I will not be here for the next podcast, so that's going to be a top 10 episode. And then the week after that, I'll come back and we'll be talking about kind of our game of the year so fars. And we will be talking about what games we're looking to pre-order and purchase and be playing for the rest of the year.
It's a big list.
It is now.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah, over the past 4 days, it grew increasingly larger than it was. We are also going to be going over our predictions, and we're actually going to do that first before we hop into the EA conference. That way, we can talk about something that comes up in a prediction, and then we can skip over it when we're talking about the conferences. So that's actually what we're going to do first. Go over all of our predictions and crown a winner. I don't even have the belt with me. It's over there somewhere. But I don't think Kellen's going to retain this belt.
I don't think so.
I'm just saying. He made some bold predictions. So, in fairness, you are going to be the fact checker as you did not participate in the predictions. So, you're going to fix any disputes. There is half points given and stuff if you got half credit on something. Like if you said, Gears 5 was coming and it's coming in 2018. Gears 5 is coming 2019, so you get half points for getting that. So we're going to go over. I'm not going to tell you who predicted what.
Okay.
That way you're not scamming me, Kellen, and or Nick out of a win. So I'm going to hop around. We'll start with Microsoft, as that's what we predicted first. And, man, I don't have a lot of room on this paper, but I'm going to make it work. All right, ready. Yep. NBA Jam 2018. That didn't happen.
No, that did not happen.
No, we're going to reward 0 points for that one.
And that may or may not have been Kellen.
Next up, Forza Horizon 4 coming 2018. That happened.
Yep.
That was a thing. Perfect Dark 2 will be announced. That unfortunately didn't happen. That was actually a rumor.
Yeah, it was.
That like at E3 that kind of popped up that Perfect Dark 2 was around there and it didn't show up. Next up, Gears 5 will be announced. It is coming 2019.
Yes.
That happened to a T. Cyberpunk 2077 will be shown off on Microsoft's stage.
Yes.
That happened. It was much less than I thought. And we can kind of talk about these things. I'm kind of speeding through it, but we can talk about these things. Cyberpunk was shown off. I thought the world looked really cool.
Yeah.
Looked like a Blade Runner Grand Theft Auto to me. And a lot of people that saw it because they played 45 minutes of it behind closed doors. A lot of people were comparing it to Deus Ex meets Grand Theft Auto. That was kind of the comparison. It's a first-person game.
Yeah.
Very weird.
Yeah,
Did not expect that.
Very strange.
Turns me off a lot from the game, to be honest.
I don't know. I kind of enjoy it. I feel like with the first-person experience, you get like almost like a little more immersion into like the actual world, and you're less.
See, I feel the opposite. I like when, especially in a story, I see my character and I feel like they're part of the world. I think it's weird when it's in first person and that, especially when you start doing stuff like carrying guns, because I'm always like, that's not how you'd walk around, because your view is like always up here. It's a little strange because it's just not how you walk around.
I mean, it usually depends on the game for me, but this one, like, I'm fine with it. It's cool. I feel like you're going to be able to see the world a lot, like, more. I think it's going to be really, obviously it's a cool looking world. It's really pretty looking. There's going to be a lot of, like, neat features and things going on in the backgrounds. So I'm all right with the first person view.
So like I said, people saw 45 minutes of it. Everybody that walked out said they liked what they saw.
Yeah.
Some people were worried about some systems and things, but overall, definitely happy. with what they saw. You also get to create your own character, which is cool, because my big takeaway, and we did a reaction to Microsoft's and Nintendo's conferences that are live on the channel. Sony's isn't there because we saw it in a movie theater. But my big takeaway from the trailer was I don't like this main character at all.
Right.
I was like, he sucks.
Yeah.
And then to find out that you get to make your own main character, you can play as a girl. Their name is V, I believe, regardless of gender. I was like, oh, okay, cool.
I think that's really neat.
Yeah. So I want to see it. I was a little disappointed we didn't see gameplay, but
I was super disappointed.
It was funny. Did you read like the screenshotted text that appeared in the beginning? It was pretty funny. They had stuff like they're answering questions in it basically. So they're like, when's the game coming out? And in the little text that was scrolling by, it's like, we don't know. We'll let you know when it's ready. We don't want to deliver half a product. There's going to be free expansions. Like they answered all these questions in the text, and then one of them was, "Is there going to be microtransactions?" And they're like, "This is a single player offline game. Why would we ever put microtransactions in?" I was like, "Okay." And see, I want to support them just because I like that studio.
Yeah, the studio is awesome. Yeah. The way they presented the trailer was really cool. That got me like really excited for it. Like the whole time you're like, before they actually show the name, you're like, oh. And then
you know what it is.
Yeah.
But I was just a little disappointed that as it closed out the show, there wasn't more to show.
I felt like that was a running theme for the Microsoft conference.
Yeah.
Like every game they showed, I was like, oh, sweet. And then it ended and I was like, what the fuck?
All right, let's keep going with these predictions. There will be a new Crimson Skies game announced.
Negative Ghost Rider.
That didn't happen. And that's very disappointing. Crackdown 3 will be re-revealed. It's coming early 2019. Yes. It's coming February 22nd, along with every other game.
Yeah,
Crackdown 3 looks really bad.
Oh, it looks like garbage.
It looks worse every time I see it.
Yeah, it's crazy that they like made that trailer and then they were like, this looks 100 times worse than the other 50 games we're showing. We'll show it anyway.
Yeah, I was surprised they showed it because they came out and announced that they delayed it before the conference. I'm like, oh, they're getting it out of the way. And then they showed it at the conference. I was like, ugh.
Yeah. I think that was kind of everyone's reaction when they saw it.
Ugh. Here's one of the bold predictions worth 2 points. Backwards compatibility games for original Xbox will receive online. That didn't happen. They didn't talk about original Xbox at all. Another bold prediction, Megasalt 3 will be announced. That did not happen.
Sorry, Kellen.
Another bold prediction, Steam will partner with Microsoft. That did not happen either. Some more Microsoft predictions. Microsoft Games Pass will appear on PC. That didn't happen. I'm still surprised that didn't happen. I thought that was a really good prediction.
I did see a lot more of the Windows 10 Xbox games, though, which is cool.
Sure, the Play Anywheres, but because Game Pass, they pushed it quite a bit. It would have been an easy thing to be like, and now it's also on Windows Store.
Yeah.
The Game Pass nowadays. But. Next prediction, Borderlands 3 is going to be on Microsoft stage. No Borderlands 3 at all.
No Borderlands 3, and I was super surprised.
Yeah.
One of the couple games that
we're going to talk about games that weren't there, so put that in the back of your mind for a little later, but yeah, that is strange. Next up, Fable revealed. Nope. No Fable. They did tease it.
Yeah.
In that they said that they bought Playground Studios.
Yeah.
And then they said, and they're working on something else, hint, hint, and it's rumored that they're working on Fable. So that was like a clear thing that they're working on it, but nothing to show. Which is surprising.
Yeah.
Next up, there will be a Gears of War spin-off. Yes, there was 2 of them.
Yeah.
There was a Funko Pop game,
which
I actually think is kind of cool. It seems like it's something to kind of combat the Lego games, which is neat.
I do think that's neat.
There is a like tactics, I forget what it's called, but like a Gears of War tactics XCOM style game. And then there was Gears 5, but that's not the spinoff.
The Funko Pop spinoff is cool.
Yeah,
the other one looks fine.
I was excited for that actually because I just like the idea of something kind of competing with the space with the Lego games because they're actually good games.
Yeah,
but they kind of just keep doing the same thing over and over, and I'd like another company to kind of fight them a little bit and make them innovate a bit more.
I'm excited for Funko Pop Halo in the near future.
I'm sure it's coming.
Oh yeah.
Next up, and this is I think the first controversial one that you're gonna have to sort through.
Okay.
Halo 6 revealed.
Is that what it says on there?
Halo 6 reveal.
I mean, I'll give you half a point.
So the thing is, I'm gonna try to make cases for all these. Halo Infinite was revealed.
Yeah.
It was not revealed as Halo 6.
Right.
And like, still, I'd be like, oh, okay, but like, it looked like a prequel.
Like Halo 1.
Yeah.
Like, it looks like Halo 1.
It does not
so
look like Halo 6 to me. So, I'm letting you decide. Point, half a point, no point. What do you think?
I'm gonna say no point. If they would have said a new Halo game, but Halo 6.
It's funny because I personally was like, that is a BS prediction.
Yeah.
Like, of course we're gonna get Halo 6, and then we didn't get Halo 6. So
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a BS prediction. Okay, so the score so far, moving away from Microsoft, is Kellen 2, Nick 0, Kevin 3. So here we go, moving into Sony.
Okay.
Horizon Zero Dawn 2 will be announced.
No.
God of War will receive DLC. No.
Nope.
Bloodborne will get a sequel.
Nope.
No. Killzone will get VR.
Nope.
No.
Jesus.
Siphon Filter will be remastered.
No.
No.
That would have been cool though.
That was a bold prediction. Sticking with bold predictions, the Vita 2 will be announced.
Negative Ghost Rider.
Death Stranding will get a demo. No.
No.
Like a downloadable demo,
yeah.
not just like a game.
No.
Demo. Call of Duty 4 Blackout gameplay reveal, which is their Battle Royale mode.
Mm-hmm.
No, that didn't happen.
I was very surprised at this.
Shocked that did not happen.
Yeah.
Well, they didn't spend any time, like I said, we can kind of talk about these. They didn't spend any time on Call of Duty at all or Destiny, which was cool.
Yeah, I thought that was neat.
They were quick about it, but like I thought for sure they're going to be like, and here's the Battle Royale mode.
They had gameplay of Call of Duty there.
Yeah, they teased the new maps. There's new remastered maps, and then they gave everybody Call of Duty Black Ops 3 for free if you had PlayStation Plus.
And the trailer, like the new trailer they showed, had it had a bunch of shit in it. Like people have health bars now, which is really cool.
Yeah, like they revealed that stuff kind of ahead of time, and we knew there'd be Call of Duty because they're partnered. But I thought for sure the reason they didn't show Blackout is because they were going to show it here, and then they didn't.
It's weird.
Okay. Next up, a new BioShock will be revealed. No, which is another one that's a little surprising to me, actually. I thought we'd get a tease for that. Shadows Die Twice is a Tenchu game. No, and it also was not on Sony's stage. So that's
fair.
Double negative.
Man, that game looks sweet, though.
Yes.
I'm excited about it.
Red Dead 2 online. No Red Dead 2. Resident Evil 2 Remake will appear. It is coming out in 2018. That's half a point.
That's half a point.
Damn,
that looks good.
Oh my God, Resident Evil 2 Remake. So this was announced. We were in the movie theater.
Yeah.
It started. I could tell it was the Resident Evil engine right at the beginning.
I didn't know until I saw what's his face,
Leon.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, "This is Resident Evil." And then it went up, and I was like, is it in VR? Like, I thought they might be teasing that it's in VR as well because Resident Evil 7 was in VR.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, why? You know, I was getting excited. And then it clicked for Nick probably like 15 seconds in. And he just looks at me and he goes, is this the police station? And I was like, yeah, it's the police station. And then they did the thing where they show like kind of the iconic zombie eating him and then looking up. Leon shoot. Oh my gosh. I think in the movie theater of the pops, like the loud, oh my gods, I think that in Kingdom Hearts 3 were the big, like,
I think that was the biggest
moments.
Yeah.
Probably. And the Last of Us gameplay was pretty, like, as soon as the gameplay started.
Yeah, when it went from the scene to the actual gameplay, I was like, holy shit. That was cool.
Yeah. Sticking with Sony predictions, Bluepoint's remastered game will be revealed. No. Devil May Cry 5 will be revealed. It is PlayStation exclusive. That was very wrong.
Yeah.
Devil May Cry 5 was revealed, but it was on Microsoft stage.
Yeah.
And
I was really surprised about that, and that game also looks badass. That game looks so cool.
I've come around on it after learning more information about it.
Yeah.
Basically, me and Nick talk about it, I think, in the pre-thing that you guys are going to hear after this. And I was like, I don't like this Dante. And then I found out that's not Dante.
Yeah.
Because their camera cut away from the screen before the end of the trailer. It was the whole thing. And I was like, oh, okay, now I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm not like on board, but I'm interested.
The actual gameplay of it looks
super
really,
surprising.
really
It was on the
crisp and
Microsoft
cool.
stage, though.
Me too. That was
cool.
That was cool.
A lot of third-party games on the Microsoft stage show, which I think is the problem with the conference. And when we start comparing, we'll talk about it. And then final prediction: Medieval will get gameplay and is coming out in 2018. I am so furious about this. Like, I know I'm one of the only people that like loves Medieval, and I really wanted this.
Yeah.
But like, they announced that game with the tagline "More details coming soon." It's been 6 months. No details have come out. And it said 2018, and I'm going to say it's not coming in 2018 unless this is not a remake, and it's what they did with Parappa and Loco Roco, which is they kind of like not up-res, but they remade it, but it was like, it wasn't like Crash Bandicoot.
Right, they just kind of made it pretty.
Or Wipeout. Yeah, they just made it look pretty, but it like played exactly the same.
Yeah.
And they did that at PSX like 2 years ago, and they were like, and a demo's available now, and the game's coming out in a few weeks.
Right.
And I'm starting to think that's what this is, and at PSX they're going to go, there's a demo available now, and the game will be out in a few weeks. Which kind of makes me sad, because I was hoping for like a Wipeout remaster of this and like everything, and I'm starting to feel like it's not happening that way.
Right.
Which sucks, because I really like Medieval, obviously. And this was another one that I was like, this is clearly going to be a pre-show announcement. Like, obviously, didn't happen. Next up, Nintendo. Animal Crossing for the Switch.
No.
Oh,
So I was surprised,
noticed, we didn't get any points for Sony at all in all 15 predictions.
Yeah, you guys suck.
That was really bad. Nintendo Animal Crossing Switch didn't happen. Fire Emblem Switch dated. No, we just got a 2019 date, but we did see Fire Emblem Switch, so we'll do half a point on that. I'm down for the half a points on that. There will be an ARMS character revealed for Smash. No,
Not yet.
surprising.
Yeah, that was surprising.
Incredibly surprising. Metroid Prime 4 gets a trailer and a release date.
No. Everyone's disappointed.
Yeah, put that one in the back of your brain for stuff when we get to it. Star Fox Switch. No. There was that weird Ubisoft thing that had like a Star Fox tie-in, but it's not Star Fox for Switch. The N64 Classic. No. I think that's its own direct when that happens. I think that's a big thing. Shin Megami Tensei will be revealed for Switch. No. Pikmin 4 will be revealed for Switch.
No.
Fortnite will be revealed for Switch. It'll be coming out before the end of June. Yeah.
Yes.
Something happened. Good job, team. 2 Wii U ports will be ported over. Wonderful 101 and Mario Maker. No Wii U ports were announced.
No.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
That's like been their thing. They keep announcing those.
I'm just glad that the Wii's still alive.
Yeah, they put Just Dance on the
Yeah.
Wii still.
Link's just like, yay, I can play the new one.
It's ridiculous.
It is.
And it's like one of the best selling places for it. Dragon Ball Fighter Z will be revealed for the Switch.
Yes.
That happened.
I think that'll sell really well.
Yeah, I think that because it's so casual, like it is a very good pickup and just play a few matches for it. I don't love that game.
Yeah.
Like I think it's fun, but I hate the mechanics and stuff in that game.
Right.
But for like, here's a controller, I get a controller, let's just battle really quick.
Yeah.
It is like a really good game. To me, we're going to be talking about it on the games that we're going to buy. I might buy it for the Switch. When it gets discounted, just as a like pickup. And
I'm with you. I think the game's it's cool, but I think it's great for the Switch.
Yeah. It's a really good. Here's the controller. You like Dragon Ball?
Check mashing buttons.
Check this shit out.
Let's do it.
Next up, Mario Party 11 revealed.
No.
Oh, really? I see. I would give that one because what's the difference in Mario parties? Just the names. Like they're not like story driven sequels.
Yeah, that's fair. That's
you know
true.
what I mean?
Yeah.
So I would say that one counts because it's a new Mario Party. Like it's not like the Halo thing where I'm like, this looks like not 6. This looks like 1.
Yeah.
You know? So I would give a point for that one, but you're the judge.
No, that's fine. I do kind of agree with you on that.
Okay. And then our out there predictions: Persona 5 is coming to the Switch. No. Crash Bandicoot is in Smash Brothers. No. Kid Icarus is coming to the Switch. No. All of my dreams just shattered.
Yeah, brutal.
And then finally, our third-party predictions, rounding these out. Fallout 3 VR revealed. No. Though, I think that was a good prediction.
That's fine.
Yeah. The Avengers game will be revealed and get a release date.
No.
For some reason. The layup. Splinter Cell revealed. No. What happened this E3? Where's all the games?
I don't know.
Unbelievable. Evil Within 2 VR.
No.
Nope. We did get Wolfenstein VR,
Mm-hmm.
and we did get Prey VR.
Mm-hmm.
So they're like doing their franchises, just not the ones that we predicted.
Yeah, super weird.
Starfield will be revealed. Yeah, that happened. Borderline revealed. It was like,
we're making this game.
yeah,
Here's the title.
Yeah.
And Elder Scrolls.
Anthem gameplay and a release date. Yeah.
Yeah.
That definitely happened.
Yeah.
That happened. You want to talk about Anthem at all? We talked about it on the pre-show, so you can go to town on Anthem if you want.
So last E3 when this got revealed, I wasn't very excited about it. I was excited. I mean, I love BioWare, like a BioWare fanboy. Saw the trailer and I was like, yeah, they're just like kind of ripping off Destiny.
Yes.
What's going on? And then I saw this gameplay.
And I'm like, wow, they're still doing it, but you can fly everywhere. That's cool.
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I think the game looks really cool, though. Mm-hmm. I'm excited about it. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, it's very pretty.
The flying around looks really fun.
Seamless.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, if they just polish this game up a lot, I think it's going to be really, really cool. I'm excited about it.
I'm worried about it story-wise because BioWare is a story company. They announced after, I don't think it was in our little talk, they announced after there's no romancing in the game, there's none of that stuff, and it's like that's what BioWare is kind of known for. It seems like it's first person until you get into battle. Mm-hmm. The game's like first person walking around, which... Mm-hmm. I don't know. It feels. I described it to Nick as it feels like Mass Effect Andromeda, where when they showed that game, they were showing a little bit, and then they were just like, "Don't worry, like we're showing you this cool stuff."
Yeah.
And then everybody was like, "That's suspicious," and then it ended up not being that great of a game. Right. And I feel the same way with this. I feel like they're intentionally not showing us stuff because people will complain about it.
Mm-hmm. I can see that a little bit, but with Andromeda, it was like, we're not seeing anything. And I'm worried. And what we are seeing doesn't look good. That's how Andromeda was. With this, it's like what you're seeing is really cool.
Sure.
But we're not seeing a lot.
That's fair.
So, yeah, I feel like this game's going to get pushed back.
I hope so, because it's on February 22nd with every other game.
Well, I feel like they just have so much work to do with this game.
I think so, too.
Like,
we'll see. I mean, they apparently kind of redid the systems of the game because it was based around loot boxes, and then they had to come out and be like, there's only cosmetic DLC.
Right.
I guarantee you these games are going to do exactly what Fortnite does. They're going to do like battle pass seasons where you unlock stuff as you progress, and then the next season everything resets, and you can unlock stuff as you progress, and it's $10 to buy into a season.
I could see that.
I think Fortnite really cracked that formula and made people go, oh, $10, and like you earn in-game currency with it so that you could just save it all and buy the next one.
Right.
But like the way Fortnite keeps you is the way you power up that pass is dailies. So you're coming back every day for at least a match, and that's what they want. Because once they do that, they're like, oh, by the way, shopping carts are in the game. And you're like, I guess I'll see what this is about. And then you do it again and they're like, oh, there's cool new guns in the game. And you're like, I guess I'll see what this is about. I think all of these future games are going to copy Fortnite's monetization.
I think the free ones will. I don't think we'll see big party games do that.
You don't?
Mm-mm.
See, I think like for sure they will. Because I think it's way more friendly than like the Rainbow Six model.
I agree, but when I turn on a game, I don't want to... Like, when I turn on Fortnite, I feel like I'm being advertised to like buy shit. I'm just like, I just want to turn this shitty game off. And when I turn on, like, a BioWare game, I would, like, immediately want to be like, oh, this is sweet. Not, hey, why don't we buy all these cool things?
I think that's what you're going to get.
I don't think that's what we'll get with this game.
We'll see. Next up, a new Dragon Age game.
No, sadly.
KOTOR will be remastered.
Oh, sadly.
Doom 2 will be revealed.
I do like all of Kellen's predictions, though.
Doom 2 will be revealed.
Yeah.
That happened. Doom Eternal. They specifically.
What a cool trailer.
Really, you liked it? I didn't like it.
Yeah,
they specifically said it's a sequel to Doom 1. It brings hell to Earth.
Yeah.
All that's cool. I liked the trailer in that I liked what I saw.
Yeah.
But like,
I wanted gameplay.
I feel like they don't have a game.
No.
And that's how I felt for 95% of Bethesda's conference. And when we get to comparing the conferences, that's the reason I didn't like Bethesda's conference.
Yeah.
It felt like a bunch of stuff that they wanted to put out because they didn't want Walmart to leak it.
Yeah.
That's what it felt like.
It felt like they were just like showing all these things that we knew they were working on, and then they were like, let's talk about Fallout 76. That's like all they did was talk about Fallout 76. Yeah. I was like, this is the one game I don't really care about. Come on, guys.
Next up, the Division 2 Battle Royale. No. That didn't happen.
No.
We saw so much Division 2. Mm-hmm. Oh my God. I don't want to play that game.
I want to play the game.
I'm so sick of that game already. I don't even want to hear about that game. Microsoft talked about it for like 15 minutes.
They did, yeah.
And then Ubisoft came out and talked about it for like 15 more minutes. And then the first thing after their stream was more Division. I'm like, I can't do this.
I think the weird one was Microsoft talking about it for like, they did talk about it for like 15 minutes. Yeah, it was weird. It was like, what are you guys doing?
It was the
I was
low
expecting
point of their conference.
Ubisoft to talk about it.
They did.
Yeah.
But also. And they showed like the same kind of scenario too, I think after the conference.
But it looks, I don't know, I'm excited about this game. I really enjoyed the first one. It has its problems, and it looks like they're trying to fix. It looks like they really listened to the community and are trying to fix a lot of those problems, which is cool. But they are kind of doing like the Fortnite thing with their DLCs, which is weird. Like when you buy the game, you get year 1 content for free.
Oh, yeah.
And then like year 2 comes around and you can, they didn't say how much it was, but you can buy like the year 2 content and you get all those DLCs and cosmetics and stuff that they released that year.
Yeah, I love when people announce DLC before their game's out. It's real fun.
But it's almost, that's definitely lame. But they want it to be like a living game, basically.
Yeah. See, I've gotten over Fortnite was the one that converted me. I've gotten over this living game thing as long as you can use it to tell a story. And I still don't feel like The Division's doing that. I don't feel like Destiny's doing that.
I think a game that does it well, and to look at...
It might do it this time.
Yeah, but I hope so. But World of Warcraft has done this great over years.
Sure.
With storytelling and recreating the world.
Yeah, and that's what Fortnite is doing, where every week the map is changing very subtly. Like, for instance, there was a truck. And the next week, the truck was in a different spot, and it was crashed, and there was a bunch of like super powered stuff in it. And you're like, and then if you complete all your challenges, you get not a cutscene, but you get different loading screens, and they're kind of telling you the story of what's happening. And like,
and then you jump out of the fucking bus with your parachute, and you're like, oh, this game doesn't make any sense. Why am I looking at the story?
I like the story. And then, like, it seems like it's building up to this heroes versus villains finale at the end of the season.
Yeah. And while you're trying to figure out, you get a plunger in your head, and you're like, shit, this game is bad.
But I really like that they're doing this, like, storytelling. Yeah. They did the meteor crash at the end of the last season.
I did think that was really cool.
And then now they turned it into a test site, and then they gated in the test site, and then trees started going. Like, now there's flowers and trees growing all around it. Like, what's happening? And there's an egg in the middle of it, and it's hatching. So, like... It's cool that just every week it changes slightly, and you can run around the map again and discover new things, and everybody on the internet is like speculating about.
Not gonna lie, I'm ready for this game to die off.
It's not happening anytime soon.
I mean, it's fine. Like, I don't hate the game. I just hate hearing about it and seeing it everywhere.
I'm gonna bring it up every conversation.
It drives me crazy. The game's all right. We won't talk about Fortnite.
Kingdom Hearts 3's intro revealed. That did not happen, and that was shocking to me. I thought for sure we would see that. We heard the theme song played at 3 separate conferences.
Yeah, that was
but not the intro. I knew it was going to be at Sony's, and when they played it at Microsoft's, I was like, they're doing the Square Enix thing.
Was that a Windows 10? Are you sure?
I am not confident, but I don't think so.
I saw it on like 4 games in a row, and then I stopped paying attention.
Yeah, I don't like the way that they do that. Like, it's on. I would much rather them come out and be like, and all of those games were Windows 10 compatible. Yes. Now, here's some games that are that, but instead they put it on like the bottom when you're watching the trailer, and sometimes you miss it, and I'm like, is this on Game Pass? I don't know. But,
it's super weird looking.
Yeah, I don't like that.
They got a lot of shenanigans going right now, Microsoft.
And to me, it always felt really like schemy, because they're like they'll put it on the thing, and it'll be like exclusive, and then like it pops up on the bottom, and it's like launching on console first, and then it like goes away.
Yeah,
it's like disclaimers.
Yeah, it's weird.
Next up, here's a controversial one for you to sort out.
Okay.
Respawn Star Wars game. We know the name.
Yeah.
We know the setting.
Yeah.
we heard about it.
Yeah,
we know the release window.
You will have a lightsaber.
You're playing as a Jedi. You're being hunted. Takes place in between movie 3 and 4. It's called. I forget. It's on my list.
I don't remember either. I just remember the awkward conversation.
Yeah, it was really weird. And it's coming next holiday. They said.
Well, not 2019 holiday.
Sorry, yeah, that's what I meant. Yeah, next year holiday. That's Respawn's Star Wars game.
I mean, it is.
Yeah.
I mean, yeah, that's a point.
Okay. Just making sure you the judge.
It was like they almost asked that guy just to give whoever's point that is the point. It was really weird.
You know what's funny?
What?
What's going to happen because of that point?
Oh, yeah?
Yes. Kellen's going to be happy. Next up, the final 3 predictions. A brand new Burnout game will be revealed. No. Skull and Bones will have a battle royale. I will say this. While that didn't happen, it looks even more likely after seeing the trailer for that game. They went in a deep dive.
The whole E3 was like, hey, all these games have battle royale.
Like the Battlefield one where they literally came out and they're like, royale, and walked away. Like, what are you doing?
Except it's the guy that couldn't speak royale. Royale.
Ravioli. So we saw more Skull and Bones. I liked that they showed like off the ship stuff.
That was neat.
Building your ship. That game's really pretty. I am shocked at how much of that game we saw, to be dead honest.
Yeah. Out of everything I saw, though, I still feel like there's not a lot going on in the game.
Oh, I don't want to play it.
No.
I was just surprised at how much they showed.
Yeah.
Like I think they're confident in it, which they should be. Everything they launched, I feel like they make good, minus like the Division. I feel like they've turned the conversation around on almost all their games.
Yeah.
Like
Well, now
Rainbow Six Siege. People hated that game at launch. Now people love that game. And like even For Honor, they're still supporting and all this stuff.
Yeah, they came out DLC for it recently.
Yeah.
Even the Division, people like, I guess everything came out now and they like redid the Dark Zone and stuff and everyone like started streaming the game again. So
now here's the interesting
good things. All right.
This was a crazy prediction. Okay. Elder Scrolls 6.
Yeah, I mean, that's a thing.
Yep. That's a 2-pointer.
Jeez.
Which puts Nick at 6 points and me at 6 points.
Okay.
And Kellen at 3 points.
Okay.
And as per the rules, you have to win because it's champion's advantage. Right. Which means Kellen retains his title because me and Nick tied because Nick got 2 points on the final prediction.
Wow.
So Kellen remains champion. We sorted out that rule because that happened the first time we did it.
Hilarious.
Because we always had 2 people. We switched to 3 people, and all of a sudden these 2 people tied, and Nick was the champion. And he's like, "What happens?" And I was like, "I don't know. I didn't plan for this." So we do the champion's advantage, just like wrestling.
Yep.
You know, you gotta actually win. And it was a tie. It was a DQ. It was whatever you want to say. It was a count out, and champion retains. So Kellen with his 3 points remains Press X prediction champion, which
Kellen.
sucks because I was gonna do another prediction right now if I won.
That's hilarious
against you, but didn't happen. All right. That's the end of the predictions. So now let's cut to me and Nick talking about EA and Microsoft, and then we'll be back to talk about all the press conferences in general, the announcements, and rank them for you guys. But let's start with EA. What are like the 2 announcements from EA that maybe stood out to you?
For me personally, I like soccer. I like the fact that they're incorporating a lot of different leagues and stuff like that, and not just doing the typical like Madden regurgitate out something every year. I wouldn't exactly call that a highlight, though, because they kind of just glossed over it. Obviously, Anthem is the big polarizing factor of the conference.
Sure, some people really liked the Anthem reveal and that they kind of like treated it like a human first type thing. They're like, here's the people and then here's the game. But then a lot of people were like, I don't think there's a lot of game. I don't think the game has a lot to show.
It feels like they're just hiding. Like you have a studio known for story, companions, romance, or at least relationships with people, whether it's friendships, whatever. But it's always characters first, story first, and they keep bringing them out there on stage. And here's the guy that did Mass Effect. Here's the guy behind Dragon Age. Stuff like that. And then they just show shooting.
And they're like, here's a game that doesn't seem to have any of those.
And
those
that's
trademarks.
Fine for what we thought. But then maybe right before they officially announce it, we're seeing Twitter posts pop up. speculation maybe a couple of days before it, but then we see a February 2019 tag, and you're like, oh, like this would be a cool setup as far as announcements go for something that was like holiday 2019.
Yeah, it reminds me a lot of actually Mass Effect Andromeda, which was
fair.
A piece of that studio's last game, where they didn't show a lot of that game, and then they're like, it's coming, I forget, like March or something like that. And I was like, that game's getting delayed. And it didn't, but it probably should have, because it always felt like they weren't showing you the stuff everybody wanted to see, and that might be because the stuff everybody wanted to see either isn't there or there's problems with it or whatever. So I'm a little worried for Anthem.
The game looks a lot more like an MMO than a direct like Destiny killer. So that was interesting to me. I'm curious to see what they start showing as far as like PvP. They already talked about customization, but are they going to go heavy? Since if you look at the numbers, like when they're shooting and stuff, like you see the digits popping up, sort of like more like an MMO. So it makes you think like, are they going down like a skill tree path? Are you going to have a lot of different branching options? Like how MMO RPG is it?
A leveling system in general?
Because all we see is action. I mean, they showed us 4 classes, and they didn't show us the difference between said 4 classes.
Yeah, that was kind of weird. Like, you get the idea of this one's the tank, this one's kind of the all-around, but they certainly didn't say that.
No, because they all shot, they all did like...
They were just like, you can play all of them, figure it out.
So, it feels like this game is like a year or 2 away, but it's not. It's months away at this point, so... You're wondering, like, are they just hiding something? Like, what's going on? Because this is a story-centric, world-building, character-first studio, as you can see in their entire catalog of games, and then they're doing an action game. So it's just weird. Yeah. So that was probably the most polarizing one. But, I mean, other than that, what was Sea of Solitude? SOS?
Yeah,
that was
so for me, Sea of Solitude and Unravel 2 were the 2 things that I was like, oh, that's interesting. Unravel 2 available now. That's neat. Looks a lot different from the first one in tone. The first one was like a really sad like story about memories and linking them together with yarn, and it was like almost this like experience. Like it was a more heavy experience. It was slow.
Yeah, they went down like the red thread of fate sort of.
And then in this one they're just like, have fun with the yarn man. And I'm like, oh, this looks much more fun.
And then right at the end of that they dropped, hey, it's out now. So that
didn't let the guy who made the game say it. Had some businessman come out and be like, and it's available now. Cheer for me.
And Sea of Solitude at first. Like they had the developer woman out there, she was kind of losing me for a second as far as just like she was just real happy about the game. And it's hard for us to be because we haven't seen it yet. But then when they showed it, everyone was like, "Oh,
it looks cool." Okay. The character design and the world design and just the art style look really neat. But I'm not like sold on that game. I want to see more about it. But that was cool. And then the other nice little thing is they announced the A Way Out studio. Got a little expansion.
Yeah, moving on up in the world.
Yeah, from there. I don't know if the Game Awards hurt or helped. I imagine it helped. But so those are the kind of the things that stuck out to me. And then the other thing that I would say stuck out is the fact that how little they talked about Madden.
And sports. I mean, even the NBA
for
Live.
Past years, sports definitely downplayed, but Madden, they were just like, there's a Madden.
Hey, here's some guys who won the Madden 2017
they
tournament
walked on
or
stage.
something.
I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah, like they didn't say anything, and you just kind of have to speculate. Like,
is there anything new?
Yeah. They announced this for PC, I guess. That's cool.
Maybe they're experimenting with not talking as much about sports because maybe they're hearing that it doesn't matter, and they're like, well, let's pull back on Madden. Maybe next year we'll pull back on something else.
I mean,
we'll see how it goes.
I won't say it's quite Call of Duty because you have to announce new modes and stuff like that for people to re-spark that interest, I guess. But for sports games, it's just like, hey, buy the yearly adaptation of this. See ya. I don't know.
That's not the audience at E3. No one at E3 is going, woohoo! There's a new Madden, guys!
Yeah. I don't know. And that was the other thing, now you mentioned crowds, that the EA crowd, we kind of talked about just by ourselves, like, who do they get to like plant in these crowds? Do they get like hype men that just cheer at anything, or what? It was a dead crowd.
It was pretty bad.
It feels like that was a business crowd or something.
That's usually it's weird because they do the EA playoff thing, but like you can tell during Xboxes, and I'm sure we're going to see it here. The whole front section is Xbox employees, and you can totally see it. And like PlayStation has the I mean they all have the press, but PlayStation has the press as kind of their main focal point in their audiences when they show them. So they just all do it differently.
I guess one other thing to talk about too is the Star Wars game where they kind of just jumped into the crowd, and the Respawn Entertainment CEO I guess was there.
Yeah, and like the team that was working on it was like, I didn't even realize we were talking about that. And that was a little strange, but I mean, it's exciting. The news sounds good, as in it sounds like a good game concept. But
what do you do with it?
Yeah,
it just kind of.
For all I know, they're going to cancel it in a month. Like, I don't believe
him
it's
saying holiday
game.
2019. Like, there is no reason to like even Google search this until this time next year, maybe.
Yeah. All right, so Microsoft's conference just ended, so we can kind of talk about what we saw. There's no conference coming up now, so we're not like on a time schedule like we were before for EA, though that didn't matter too much. What stood out to you? What do you think?
Lots of games. There was not much downtime, and the downtime was just real weird. It was Division 2.
I was about to
Dying Light. It was
Dying Light. I think they at least were like interesting.
Yeah.
I think Division 2 was clearly the worst part of the show.
Yeah.
Like that's where I was just like, I'm spacing out here, guys. But like my overall just impression of it is they're rebuilding. They know what's wrong. They're admitting to what's wrong without being like, we're getting our butt kicked.
Yeah.
Like they're admitting to what's wrong. They have a plan. They're not ready to show us the plan.
Yeah.
It's incubating. Which is cool. So, like, it's weird because almost all of the exciting Xbox things to me were, we have this studio and they're going to be making some sort of game, though they didn't say if it was going to be exclusive or not. It might not be. They might do the Minecraft thing. But we have this studio now. They're going to be making games for us. Yeah. We have this studio that's going to be fostering other games for us.
We have a Santa Monica studio.
Yeah, for other partners. We have this studio now, but we're not ready to show you much from any of them. Like, there was
a lot of 2019, if they even showed a release date at all.
Sure, that's the thing that they didn't do that I was surprised. They didn't do, here's the new Fable, just a teaser trailer for it.
Yeah.
It's coming out in 3 years, but at least you know we're working on it. They didn't do the Sony thing that I wanted them to do.
I mean, even just like concept art, or even jump into the guy in the crowd who's the head developer of the next Fable game. Hey, blah blah blah. You know, just do a quick little like even that sort of helps because it gets Fable in the back of your mind. It gets, perfect art.
This console isn't going to just die. They did mention they're working on the next Xbox. That is big.
Next consoles.
Consoles, Xboxes or whatever they're going to be. Maybe they are going to be Steam Machine type things where there's different models or whatever. That was cool. Like, that's what I wanted is we have a future.
Yeah.
Because what I was worried about is we were talking about like Microsoft spinning off the Xbox brand. Microsoft doesn't need Xbox, the game division. They could just sell that.
Microsoft has every business in the country.
Yeah, Microsoft can do their own thing. They'll be okay. But what I started thinking in the back of my mind is maybe they'll go the route of more like an EA type thing where they stop making hardware.
Yeah.
They start buying companies and they just distribute games as like a big publisher. But I don't think that's going to happen because they announced the new box. I was like, okay, so they're calming that fear. But the fear that they didn't calm was what are the future games on Xbox One? So we have Halo Infinite, I think, is on Xbox One. I assume that tag was there. And we have Gears 5.
Lots of Gears, actually.
Did they announce any other... Forza, but that's coming this year. Did they announce any other, like, first-party thing? Battletoads.
Battletoads 2019, yeah.
So, like, that's not enough to... Like, that's not Perfect Dark or Crimson Skies or Mech Assault 3 or, like, any of those things that, like, we're listening and working on these things and you'll see them far in the future. Maybe they just don't want the Crackdown problem. Maybe Crackdown just burnt them too bad where they're like, we can't do that.
Yeah.
Because that was the one time they tried it.
There's a lot of chances where Microsoft Studios popped up and you were like, okay, well, here we go. Here's Mech Assault. Here's Crimson Skies. Here's something from the past. Whether it was... Hey, now it's backwards compatible, or hey, here's a new entry in the franchise, and I won't say like it swung and missed, but there was just like opportunity there for something, and you gotta figure some of these things are getting worked on. I don't think someone just
They did the tease. Playground is working on a big... it's clearly Halo, or not Halo, Fable, because that got leaked, and they're clearly like, hey, we're working on Fable.
Yeah.
But, like, say that. Mm-hmm. If it's already out there and it's true, say it. Who cares?
It's interesting. I feel like the games that they should have spent more time on, aside from Gears they spent the perfect amount of time on, like Halo Infinite, like, I want to know about that game. Like, what is it? They just said, Master Chief's most epic adventure, and that's it. It was literally like 1 or 2 sentences, and like you want to know more. Like, Halo is a big deal with this console. Halo is this console for the most part, and like, I don't know, a lot of games you just didn't get anything on. But on the inverse of that, Gears got enough attention.
Gears got 3 games.
The Sekiro Shadows Die Twice game got enough attention. I think it showed...
Not an exclusive.
Right.
Yes.
But...
Which I'll get to in a second.
But yeah, it like showed off enough to get you interested. Cyberpunk at least showed the world and that they're going to be in, and obviously nothing else, because this game's next year. There's no way it's this year. But, you know... Sort of like when we were talking about before this started with Anthem, you have story and content-driven people making a game. What do you want to show first? Hey, we're building a cool world. We got a cool story. Maybe, you know, obviously this character isn't Geralt from Witcher quite yet, but you're at least getting, like, the look of this world through someone's eyes. Mm. You're not just getting, like, here's straight action. So they at least introduced it in a cool way. Yeah, like, I don't know, it had a lot of good and just really not that much bad, but what I liked most about it overall as a conference was just the pace, for the most part. Obviously, there were some outliers with The Division and Dying Light where it just kind of sputtered for a little bit. Sure. And you feel like they could have axed those in half, or even, like, I feel like that Division was a Ubisoft conference.
Yeah, I thought The Division was just bad.
It just didn't feel like a Microsoft conference. But I get the Dying Light. Okay, sure, I'll accept
Dying
that.
Light's at least like they don't have their own stage to really start talking about the game, and we're not going to see it again in a day.
I would have liked that CG trailer for Division 2 and use that extra time for a future broadcast.
Or talk about Halo. Whatever that game is.
But yeah, like, and that was my other thing. We're going back to, we just added these 5 new divisions or companies under us. What about the other 6? Like, we know Turn 10 is doing Forza. Well, like, what else is going on during these off years?
They also have a problem, like, what is it, 343?
Yeah.
They are literally named after Halo.
Yeah.
And the Coalition is literally named after Gears. Like, I feel like it's going to be tough for them to do other stuff at this point. And I don't even, like, I thought maybe we'd get a new Killer Instinct or something.
My big one was, what is Rare doing? Because they were up there on the screen, and there's just no...
Sea of Thieves, they just launched, and they have those 2 expansions coming out, apparently. But, like, Sea of Thieves kind of met with a thud. Like, it wasn't hated, it just didn't have enough in it. People liked what they played. There just wasn't a lot to it. So expansions are nice, but that's why I was like, oh, maybe they'll be free or so, you know, something to kind of help that Xbox fan base, because I feel like that's what they need to help. They need to get people on board. The Games Pass talk was really good. My problem, or not really a problem, but the thing about this conference to me is that everything that I was excited for, which there wasn't a whole lot, no Rocksteady.
Yeah, no Rocksteady.
From Software was there. Thought that was cool. Obviously, Kingdom Hearts, that's huge. That, what was it called? Jump Force or Jump Fight with the Dragon Ball Z, One Piece, Death Note fighting thing.
Yeah, I don't know. I was too busy.
I think it was called Jump Force or something. Like, those things, cool.
Yeah.
Not exclusive. Not a reason to buy an Xbox. So that was kind of what I was looking for. And as far as, did this make me want to turn on my Xbox? A little bit. The Game Pass made me go, I'll probably try out Game Pass this year. So, a little bit. But it wasn't because of the games, it was because of that service that's already existed, and it's just on sale right now. Like, I'm like, oh, like...
I'm definitely going to turn on my Xbox in 2019.
Oh, for Battletoads. I'll play Battletoads. Yeah. That's cool. I'll probably check out Gears. Gears being on the Game Pass, it's cool. Like, they're doubling down on it. It seems like they're at least getting backlog games from other developers and stuff. Oh, that's cool. But I definitely wasn't blown away.
Sure.
And Cyberpunk to me was a little disappointing. I want to see what that game actually is. It was cool to see the world look like Blade Runner and everything, but like, I don't understand how you do an RPG in that like world system type thing, and I'm curious how you do it, and I still don't know.
Yeah,
is the problem that I
think there's enough time between now and release where they can just do, okay, here's like the general concept trailer, and then next time it's like maybe the story trailer, and then you start getting the on foot, like walking around to places.
Yeah, I think it's totally fine what they did. I like when they do that for games. You do a CG kind of reveal, then you can show gameplay at the next reveal, and then start giving me like a release date and some specifics, breakdowns of mechanics and stuff. But to end the show on it was weird when it wasn't a big, like it was just the world fly through of kind of what's going on. So I think that's where I'm a little hung up. I'm like, I don't know if that was worthy of ending the show. It was cool though, the way that they did it.
I think it was, but what gets me is how they started it. I'm going to keep going back to the Halo Infinite thing, where it's just like, not to quote the name in the title, but like it could be just about anything. There's infinite options for what that was, because you just saw people kind of walking around. Like I said, it's definitely Halo. You saw rings, you saw different like alien worlds, and
you called that early.
You saw Master Chief. Or what I'm assuming is Master Chief.
Oh, yeah, that's true. I guess there's a lot of those Spartan men, huh?
So
that's why I'm thinking it could be like a Destiny type thing.
Yeah, so I don't know. I don't know what to think about it, just because they didn't tell me anything.
And like that Fallout is, build the world. I think it is a co-op-y thing. They did have one scene where 4 different characters walked by, so that gave me the vibe of the co-op stuff. But like, once again, not... Like, I don't tie that to Xbox, whereas I feel like for some reason, when you debut like an indie game on your stage, I tie that indie game to your console way more than when you reveal a AAA game on your stage. Because there's so many other factors, like things like fighting game. If it's a fighting game, like they're probably going to play that on PC or PS4. That's just typically how that goes, and they like. There's so many other things to it than that. Whereas indie games are just digital only games. You don't go to like Amazon and be like, oh look, it's available on PS4, buy it there. Oh, it's on Switch. You have to go into the store of that actual console to even see if they have it. And you're like, I know Xbox has it. I'll just go there. Cuphead DLC. That was a surprise.
That was cool.
I totally did not think that we were going to get Cuphead DLC. I thought that obviously they struggled to make the game. It took them forever, and they put a lot of heart into it, clearly. But I thought that they would want to do something else after doing so much hand-drawn, like, awesome art and everything.
Well, the thing with that, especially when things go overdue for a few years, is I'm sure you have a lot of content just that either gets thrown out or, hey, we could just kind of make a expansion out of it. Sort of like I was saying about God of War. Like, it took them so long. I'm sure there's a lot of cut ideas, but now that everyone is bought into it, literally, then you can go, oh yeah, well that thing in that file on the folder on guy's computer, let's kind of harp on that. We got a few more years before we're gonna do something else. So
maybe they wanted to make this character from the beginning, and they just didn't have time, and now they're like, oh, we have time. Maybe the expansion isn't that big, but you can replay the whole original game as that character, and that's kind of
that's the good thing with games like that is, you can talk about just about any sort of platformer like that, is that one new ability or one new like spin on things adds a lot more to the game. Shovel Knight is a good example.
Yeah, they just keep putting out new characters. Indie Crates is really good at it. They make multiple characters for all of their games, and it's crazy. And you're almost like, did you think of this from the beginning, or are you just really good at designing these games that you can just come up with mechanics and add them to your game like it's nothing? So let's talk a little bit about what wasn't there. So for me, I'm surprised that Fable didn't show up. I thought we would see a Fable teaser at least, and just be like the next entry in Fable coming to Xbox One. Like, that's all you needed. I'm actually really surprised Rocksteady wasn't there. I guess they're going to be at Sony's stage, would be my assumption now.
They're running out of stages.
I don't think they're going to be on Nintendo's. I was surprised that wasn't there.
For me, the big one was franchises from the past, and I know it's just because I love the Xbox and 360, and I haven't really quite bought into the Xbox One yet for many games. But man, just like they're knowledgeable about like what people want from the past. They know they want all these games and they bring it to backwards compatibility, but they don't. And they have like the language in these conferences and these meetings and interviews, like, okay, yeah, we know they really love the Crimson Skies.
Yeah, but then they're weird about it. They're like, we brought Phantom Dust back and then we canceled it and then we're just giving you the normal game for free. Or we brought back Voodoo Vince, but we're not actually like remastering. It's kind of just like a cheap remaster. Like, there's no Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy, Medieval.
That's the big thing
collection
that they're lacking. Where as if it were Sony, I'd say you're missing on the backwards compatibility train. But they're doing the actual physical re-releases and bump up in quality, or maybe just a new take on it too. So I don't know. Like I feel like if you combine Sony's ways on games of the past and Xbox's ways to bring that back, or at least put it back into the market, like you'd have the perfect ecosystem for it, but they just kind of split it down the middle.
That was something that I noticed was missing too, was the backwards compatibility. Yeah. They came out on stage, they announced that to thunderous applause. One of the most applauded things I think that they've announced. And everybody's like, oh, you could play 360 games. And then he came back out the next year, I believe, and he's like, we've listened, Crimson Skies is backwards, the old Xbox game. So I was expecting this year them to, at worst, be like, and here's 20 new backwards compatible games, and this one's getting a sequel, and here it is, something like that. They didn't talk about their past that much in this, which was a little surprising to me. One last thing that I want to bring up, and then you can throw out whatever you want to. The streaming service.
Yeah.
Very interesting. EA streaming service coming later this year into like a beta, I think, for $100 a year, I think was the price. Microsoft working on a streaming service, not ready to talk about it. I bet it's built into their next Xbox. That's probably going to be their big thing.
Yeah.
And then obviously PlayStation already has PlayStation Now, which has 650 plus games on it, and you can get that for $100. I think it's $100 for a year subscription to that, or it's $120. One or the other. How are you feeling about that? A lot of people talking about this is going to be the box thing is interesting because Ubisoft recently just came out and said that they don't think that there's going to be a future generation. So I think it was interesting that Microsoft came out and said boxes, like maybe implying they are thinking ahead. Consoles, what about the streaming stuff though?
I mean, I don't know what to think about it early on because I don't subscribe to any of those. I don't really have a faint interest in any of them. I like digital copy. I like physical copy. I don't mind either one, but I just haven't had the experience of like, oh, I want to play this game now. I'm going to stream it. So I don't really have much of a stake in it, but I understand that this is going to be the next big thing. So that's why you're seeing everyone kind of just putting out their, not really patting on it, but putting out their version of it now because it's not important. It's not super important right now, but it will be. So it's important to get it's getting out ahead of the curve, and that's what everyone's doing. I would not be surprised to see every single conference have.
I'm curious if PlayStation brings up PlayStation Now on their stage.
Yeah.
I feel like they wouldn't, but like, man, when two companies do it back to back, it's a little suspicious. I think they might be like, by the way, guys, there's 700 games that you can play right now on PlayStation Now, and we're halving the price or something. Like I wouldn't be surprised.
Half is a big leap, but yeah.
Well, I'm in $10 a month. I do like a $5 a month tier or something just to get some
that
people
is half.
on the door. I could totally see them doing that. That Game Pass is $1.
Yeah.
And they half the price on theirs for I think for E3 week or something. It's only $5 a month instead of $10. So, but yeah, I could totally see PlayStation talking about PlayStation Now, or I think we talked about it on the podcast before, rebranding it. Some new name, include it maybe with PlayStation Plus or at a discount with PlayStation Plus, and kind of revamp that. But we'll talk about that if PlayStation decides to talk about it later. Is there anything else about the conference you want to throw out there?
I liked Devil May Cry, but I don't. I liked the idea of it.
I was excited for 4 seconds in that trailer, and then lost it.
Well, I was excited for the last 4 seconds too because you get classic Dante. So
one person that I'm real mad at is this cameraman zooming out at like the end stingers of these trailers.
Oh, yeah.
What are you doing? I want to see the trailer. I don't care about the stage during unless you have something happening on the stage. I don't care. Stop showing me.
The one cool thing was during Forza Horizon where like the leaves were falling. I was like, okay, that's awesome.
That was fine.
Yeah,
something was happening. But yeah, like they zoomed out for the stinger of the Devil May Cry thing, and I was like, "Oh, is that like a pre-order costume? Is that like he's gonna cut his hair in the opening of the thing? Like, what is this?"
Well, also too, if you looked at the logo, there were 3 people standing there. So like, what is that?
I don't know. I didn't get a good look at that. Probably because the screen was this
but
big.
Yeah, I'm the same, and Sony does it just as bad as Microsoft does it. Nintendo doesn't because there's just videos for the most part. But like, I don't want to see nerds reacting to this when I'm a nerd reacting to it. Like, it's too much.
Like Sony did that one year where they had like the stage like for Days Gone. I remember they had like people hanging and they had people playing instruments. They have like the orchestra, and then they did the really really great thing where they put the screen on the top, like on the left, and then on the right they had the person playing it, the orchestra, and the audience. And it's like that's a cool way to cover all your bases.
Picture in picture.
No one can complain if you do it that way. But yeah, they zoomed out for that, and I was like, "Ooh, what is that? Is that a pre-order bonus? Is that the beginning of the game? He cuts his hair. Is that the end of the game? He grows his hair. I don't know. It's just weird because he does look like the DMC version, and like they clearly were like, this is a sequel that you guys have been like they're totally ignoring that game. And then interestingly enough, Microsoft owns Ninja Theory, who made DMC, so it's a little...
And now we can't call Ninja Theory the best, like, indie AAA company.
Yeah, they're
just AAA now.
They are an indie AAA company, and it's dead in the water now.
So there goes that tag.
Yeah. Anything else you want to throw out there for this one?
No, just there's I guess the lineup of games that got introduced here are a lot more diverse, a lot more Japanese, obviously.
Oh yeah, they went for the Japanese market
so
heavy.
That seems like a good sign that they're just like, hey, Sony is the Japanese system.
They put
we want to take
platinum,
a little bit of
they
that.
put a platinum game on the Xbox.
Yeah.
Sorry, Scalebound. They still have a relationship, and it's coming in a week.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, they still have some sort of relationship with them. They didn't burn that bridge completely, so that's nice to nice to see. But
so yeah, the Shadows Die Twice, this big Shonen Jump brawl with all the Japanese manga and anime characters jumping in. Tales of Vesperia, like, you know, they're incorporating some of that, so that's good. Because Xbox or Microsoft not really known for their lineup of Japanese titles.
Right. They're definitely, like I said before, they are planting the seeds of all the stuff that people have wanted, except for maybe their nostalgia seeds. Mm-hmm. They're planting the seeds. They're watering them, but it's going to take a while for them to grow. But I wouldn't have mind seeing, you know, what the seeds look like a little early on. That's
to be fair,
my overall thought.
I guess since we're kind of wrapping this up, comparing this to the past couple of years, I haven't really remembered too much about what Xbox has said. Like, it just kind of
I remember
and then I don't remember.
I remember like the backwards compatibility announcement and the create your own controller announcements, like stuff like that. But I don't remember, like, I just remembered last week that Dragon Ball FighterZ debuted on the Microsoft stage. Like, there's stuff like that, like, oh, okay. It just doesn't click with me.
But yeah, I think this was their best conference in recent memory.
Sure.
Obviously, it's not 10 out of 10. That they had some sections that drug out and some things that we feel like as Xbox people we wanted. Some of the past coming back, whether it's remasters or sequels or just whatever. Mm-hmm. But the future, or what's coming out the next weeks, what's coming out the next months, year, looks really good.
Sure.
So
just
for the system. So.
Just to wrap it up, what would you, if you knew whatever ranking system you want to do, what would you give EA, and then what would you give Microsoft?
I sort of like the, I guess we were going off yesterday, the ABCD.
Oh, see, that's what I was going to do, A+, B, A minus.
Just to keep it simple, I would say for them, because I'm trying to think, what did Xbox need to do? We kind of talked about it before. And, what did they do? What did they need and what did they do? I would give it probably like a B+ or an A-.
I would give it a B or a B+.
Yeah.
I think I would probably lean more towards the B+. But yeah, I'm also up there.
Honestly, you know, I'm pretty biased, so jumping up with some of these like shonen games or whatever like that drug it up a little bit. Gears definitely helped their cause. I don't feel like there was a thing wrong with Gears's.
But like they even did a good job with the Gears Pop thing. They announced a game that people probably don't care about, and they didn't piss people off.
Yeah,
that's really hard to do. Command and Conquer.
But yeah, it's good. Like I got some good vibes from this, and I think they did. I mean, I know we were hyping it. I know people on Twitter were hyping it. People in the background.
Yeah, I don't think it was crazy.
Yeah,
you know, I don't think it was that A territory. Like I wasn't like, oh my god, and then the next announcement was, oh my god. Like there was none of that. I was just like, oh cool. Yeah. Oh, that's neat. You know, every announcement was interesting, except for the Division.
But yeah, I think. You know, the most recent years have been like C's and D's, kind of.
I would say like C pluses.
Yeah,
and B
but this one's definitely a huge jump up for me for sure. And comparing it to EA, I guess. So
what would you give EA just since we didn't do that one?
You got what you expected from EA. So like I feel like you can't go above a C, like a C minus.
Oh, see, I was saying I think it's a D plus. If you were in my school, I was the teacher. You handed in the EA press conference. I'd be like, oh, you did the work, cool.
Yeah.
Like, you didn't really try very hard, but you did it.
Yeah, like, I'm not messaging people about, man, did you see that in the EA conference?
That's true. I sent out quite a few text messages during this one just to gauge people. Yeah. Oh, what'd you think of Devil May Cry? What'd you think of this? Yep. During EA, I was like, oh, Unravel 2 is available now? Mm-hmm. Cool. How much is it?
Like that was the only... So, yeah, I feel like you can't go above a C, but yeah, I'm more like you. I'm C minus D, something like that. Cool. Just because you got what you came for and you really weren't expecting much when you showed up. So,
all right. Well, we got much more E3 ahead, so we got more conferences to watch, more to grade, more to talk about. I'm excited to see what was here. What's that gonna be replaced with on some other stages? Because I thought for sure some of those announcements would have been elsewhere. And you know, does that lessen some times for like Division 2 and other conferences and stuff like that? So we'll have to see with those conferences.
I was almost expecting like a Skyrim 2 or Skyrim Part 2 or Skyrim Continued. Any of those titles with Skyrim in it. And then I saw Elder Scrolls 6.
Okay.
Man, fuck you, Bethesda. Fucking shitty conference.
All right. So speaking of shitty conferences, we're going to be going over just kind of quickly the announcements from the conferences, and then we will rank them, talk about what we liked about presentation and announcement-wise. So EA, we letter graded them. I gave it a D+. Nick also gave it a D+. What would you give EA?
I give it a C.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, I think them releasing that game like right then was like kind of bumped that from a D to C for me.
Yeah, it was one of the only oh shit moments this whole E3, and it came from EA, which is crazy. The last time I can remember a surprise at EA was Mirror's Edge Catalyst. When they revealed a new Mirror's Edge, and I was like,
yeah,
really? But yeah, like it was one of the only whoa, that's cool announcements of the whole show.
Yeah.
Let's move into Microsoft real quick. What's today? They're by far the most amount of games.
There's a lot of stuff. I almost got bored during the Microsoft conference.
What would you give their conference?
I give it a C.
Really? You
a C
think it was the same as
C? I give it a C+.
Interesting. I gave it a B+.
Yeah.
And Nick also gave it a B+, I believe. All right. Next up, Bethesda. Now, this is where I'm going to get a little ragey. I kind of hated Bethesda's conference. I was very bored for 2/3 of it, if not more. And then Todd Howard came out and talked about a game I don't care about, but I was at least entertained because Todd Howard's really good up on
He's
stage.
funny, yeah.
He's funny.
He's a good personality.
He's like awkward, but he can play it off really, really well.
Way to go, Todd.
They
keeping the Todd name strong.
they did like the Skyrim on Alexa joke, which is hilarious, and then it's real. Like you can go download it from Amazon. I really, really, really liked that. Talking about the games, Rage 2 looked way better than I thought it would.
I agree.
I'm still not going to play it at
I thought
launch.
it was silly how they kind of... It was really, this is like the most awkward part of the conference.
Oh, the opening?
Rage 2 reveal. Yeah.
The opening of the thing. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I like that they took the shot at Walmart. That was good. That was
funny.
For leaking the game.
Yeah.
Rage 2 gameplay looks better than I thought it would. Mm-hmm. Still not interested.
Don't want to play it.
If it gets amazing reviews, I'll pick it up at the end of the year. Mm-hmm. That's how I feel about that game.
I'll wait for it to go on sale.
Elder Scrolls Legends card game coming to consoles. Don't care.
Don't
Card
care.
games are bad on consoles. Switch is the only console that makes sense to have a card game because it's
Yeah.
touchscreen. Wolfenstein Youngblood. This was cool. This was a kind of expansion sequel to Wolfenstein 2.
Which was really good.
Takes place in the future. It's co-op, which was the theme of this. Almost all their games are multiplayer now. Prey has multiplayer. This has multiplayer. Fallout has multiplayer. Last year they were making fun of multiplayer games. Now they're all multiplayer games.
Yeah.
Very cool, guys. But this one actually looked interesting. And
It does look really neat.
once again, not a day one purchase for me, but down the line, I think I'll pick this one up.
Yeah.
Next, Prey Mooncrash DLC, infinite procedural, regenerating levels, all the stuff, whatever. And then they announced the 1 versus 5, I believe, mimic mode, where it's kind of like hide and seek. 5 people are hiding as everyday objects. 1 person, I guess, is trying to find them. And that is playable in VR, as well as
That's
some sort
neat.
of puzzle mode.
Yeah,
Is also
that was
playable
kinda
in VR, which is cool. Then the press conference, like that was like it. They did the Doom reveal. Which was just a logo, and that like Wolfenstein was kind of just a logo, and
They had these cool,
Starfield
like,
was a
really
logo,
pretty looking trailers.
and Elder Scrolls was a logo.
Elder Scrolls
and-
was literally just a logo.
yeah, so was Starfield.
Yeah, oh, so was Starfield, yeah.
Yeah, like that was my problem with the like it felt like they didn't have their stuff ready to show, and they just had announcements that they wanted to make, so they didn't leak. Like that's literally what this conference felt like.
I get that vibe a little bit, but I feel like they were like kind of leaning on Fallout 76 to be like their home hitter, and then they were like, we kind of need some more stuff to fill in this other.
Yeah, they're like people
all this
are
other time we have.
people are going to be mad. Starfield,
Yeah.
they're still going to be mad. Todd, Elder Scrolls.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Doom 2.
Yeah, like it
Yeah.
it did feel like
Yeah, it was really weird.
I did not like it.
So I started. Sorry.
I was just gonna say one thing that I did like is that new Elder Scrolls phone game that they said that they're working on.
Sure.
I like that it's going to be cross compatible with everything.
Mm-hmm.
They even VR headsets and stuff. I think it's really cool and ambitious that they're trying something like that. And the demo, you can like pre-buy it now, but it's free, so I don't understand what that means. And it's available like later in the fall for phones, and then
Yeah.
they're going to be scaling it up to everything. I think that is really cool.
I think it's cool. I just don't really care about it.
I think it's cool. Should it have been like their last announcement?
No.
No.
So this conference, like, I don't know. It was weird. I started out and I was like, I was into it, and then about 10 minutes through.
Oh, where they still didn't show a game because
Yeah.
they're just rocking out.
Yeah, I was like, what is this conference? And then it just like it kept going on, and they just kept like kind of showing like either a trailer and then like a title, moving on to the next thing, trailer, title, talk, like trying to hype it up a little bit to the crowd, moving on to the next thing.
Yeah,
And it was just
They
it just
really
became
needed
the
to stop
theme
showing
of this
crowds.
conference. Yeah,
You
they
know.
showed the crowd so,
and the crowd was always like this.
yeah, you had one guy and he was like, woo, and then the rest of the crowd was like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah, they kept showing the guy with the mask on so you couldn't see his bored
Yeah.
expression.
It was such a weird conference, man.
Yeah, I really didn't like
I was
it.
pretty bummed out.
So I don't know if I have. them on
They also
hand.
just released everything I was expecting them to. Besides, I wasn't expecting just an Elder Scrolls fucking 6 logo to pop
random
up.
announcement,
But
yeah.
it was a disappointing one. I was like, what the fuck is this?
So with that said, what would you give the Bethesda press conference?
I would give it a D.
A D.
Yeah. They had...
Anything lower than EA?
yeah, I think so.
I want to give it lower than EA, but I don't think it was quite a D to me. I'm going to give it a D plus as well.
Sure.
With EA. I really didn't like it. And like the announcements that got me excited, they didn't show. Again,
Right.
Wolfenstein Cyber Hacker or whatever it's called, and Prey in VR. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
Where is it? Like, show me. I don't understand.
Yep.
So, yeah, like, show, don't tell. This conference was literally a press release.
It was
like,
weird, yeah.
Here's some games coming out, guys. Bye. Like, they didn't.
I feel like this was an IGN interview with Bethesda. That was super weird.
Nick gave this conference an A.
Holy
He
shit.
loved this conference.
Yeah, that's crazy.
He also changed his Microsoft vote to an A minus. Though, to be fair, I think he was saying B plus A minus in the thing that we talked about.
Gotcha.
Next up, Square. So Square, they had a very quick conference. I think it was like 30 minutes.
Yeah, and
very
it got
fast
a lot of shit on the internet.
Yeah, very fast announcements. We saw Shadow of the Tomb Raider, Dragon Quest XI, Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, Kingdom Hearts 3, Just Cause 4, Babylon's Fall, new Octopath Traveler trailer, and
They showed these
Final
very
Fantasy
fast, by the way.
Cross Monster Hunter.
Yeah.
And I think they had a Final Fantasy new expansion in there as well. What do we think of Square? Because I liked Squares.
I thought it was fine.
Yeah, I enjoyed Squares. I didn't think it was great or anything.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed it. I think their biggest problem was Microsoft. Microsoft showed Shadow, Kingdom Hearts, Just Cause, all, and the Awesome Adventures of Captain Spirit, I believe, the Don't Nod game.
It felt very
all
recycled.
the night before.
Yeah, it felt very recycled.
So, like, if you just ignore the fact that if you only watched the Square conference, I think you would have a very different opinion.
A similar thing also happened with Ubisoft.
Yeah, not
like,
to this extent, but yeah.
Right. But other parts of it, the conference felt very recycled because a lot of platforms showed the same game over and over and over and over.
Kingdom Hearts 3
and
was
over.
at 3 different
Kingdom
press
Hearts
conferences,
3,
which is fine.
The Division 2.
That one's not fun.
I mean, I was
At
kind
least
of
the Kingdom Hearts 3 things was just like a 2.5-minute trailers.
Yeah, but I was just tired of it.
it
I was
wasn't
like,
gameplay.
show me something else, please. Yeah, I got so tired.
You got
of,
a lot to show, man.
All the recycled stuff. So,
yeah. So this one, like you said, has a lot of recycled stuff. But
Yeah.
I liked what we saw. Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer was a very similar, very very similar trailer to the night before, with just some added stuff. Just Cause just had some added stuff. Babylon's Fall, new Platinum game, PlayStation exclusive, I believe. That's awesome.
looked cool.
Super excited for that. Obviously, they're partnering back up. Nier did really well, so that's happening. They also showed off that Quiet Man. I believe it's called trailer, that live action hybrid game that's going to be playable in one sitting. I think we're going to learn more about that by the time this podcast goes live. We don't know right now. Just Cause, game I don't care about, made me interested in it from the trailer. Shadow of the
I
Tomb
still
Raider,
don't care about it.
I'm super excited for. I love the Tomb Raider games.
They did a good job of showing that off.
I love
and
the
kinda talking about
mudding yourself. They're showing that it's still an RPG. Like they did all the experience and stuff. The AI looks stupid.
it. Yeah.
Really dumb. That was
What
really
was the
bad.
release date on it? Did they have a-
September.
Okay.
It's coming out September.
Okay.
Right on top of all the other big games. So it can.
There's so much coming out at the end of this year.
Octopath showed all their classes off. Like I thought this was a solid, very like it didn't waste your time. It was like we know we don't have much here. Rapid fire.
Yeah.
We're out of here.
I did like
I think
that
that's fine.
they did kind of rapid fire it.
Yeah.
And it wasn't their fault that they had, it was their games, but for some reason they were on the fucking Microsoft platform.
Yeah, I agree. So what would you give Squares?
I'd give it a C.
Okay. Lots of C's and D's going around here.
Yeah, it just, I don't know.
I'd give it a. I want to give it a C. I'll give it a C. I'm close to a C minus, but I'm going to give it a C as well. I thought it was totally fine.
I
The
thought it was
problem
fine.
was Microsoft showed literally 60% or more of the same stuff the night before. That was their problem. Okay, so next up was a big one, Sony. Oh, no, let's do Ubisoft. Let's do Ubisoft.
Okay.
So next up, Ubisoft. Just Dance 2019 for the Wii and everything else. Beyond Good and Evil 2 with a little bit of gameplay. They showed Jade. They showed another amazing trailer for that. Trials Rising. That went on way too long. The Division 2 has raids, and that was an awkward announcement. And
That was weird.
Whatever. Skull and Bones got kind of an in-depth look. Transference got a release date, which was really cool. Starlink was revealed, and it has a Star Fox version on the Switch. Assassin's Creed Odyssey was leaked via a keychain, and they showed off the real thing. And that was supposed to be their oh my god moment, because they usually show those beforehand, or they
Right.
leak on purpose beforehand.
Right.
And it didn't happen this year.
Right.
And it got leaked via marketing, like a keychain thing. And then, so I think that was supposed to be their like, oh, and then it didn't
I mean, the
happen. And then
gameplay did kind of, I was like, wow, this looks sweet.
It looks cool because this is the first time period in that Assassin's Creed done that I'm like, I care about this.
That, and I don't have to play that shitty character anymore. I get to play, I get to pick if I want to be a male or female.
Sure.
The gameplay, like the combat, looks different.
Yeah, I mean, it looks like Assassin's Creed Origins, just reskinned.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair.
But like I thought after Origins they were going to start like putting more time into these Assassin's Creed games, and then nope, next year here's another one. They're
Yeah.
lucky it's in a time period I care about because that's the only thing that kept my attention.
The game looks cool. I think that was the big thing, is the time period.
Yeah.
Looks sweet. I was confused because it's in, they're Greeks, but they're wearing Roman centurion outfits. So
I mean, it looked like
just confused the
typical
shit out
like
of me.
Spartan stuff. But yeah, I was excited, not excited, but it kept my attention.
Yeah,
but like I
agree.
wasn't blown away. I was like, oh, this looks like an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
It was the opposite of Anthem, where it felt like they were showing you some like imperfect stuff, and you were like, oh, okay, this is the real game.
Yeah.
Whereas it kind of felt like the opposite, where Anthem was
this-
like, what are you hiding?
Yeah.
I was like, oh, they're not hiding anything. This game is just an Assassin's Creed game.
Yeah.
They didn't hype it up at all. The Beyond Good and Evil 2 trailer was awesome.
It was cool.
I always love those. This new one, I thought it was weaker than the first one, but I thought it was great.
They always
Showing
do a
off
good
Jade
job.
was amazing.
Ubisoft in general, I don't usually enjoy their conferences, but they always do a good job of showing off a decent amount of gameplay.
Yeah, they showed off some gameplay for it, and then they came out with Joseph Gordon-Levitt and his what's it called? Hit Record? I can't remember exactly what it's called, but his company where basically you can partner and work together on different collaborations for different aspects of this game. It's the first game collaboration that they're doing, and you do actually like get paid if your stuff makes it into the game and everything.
Yeah,
as far as
I thought that was
understand.
really neat.
Really cool. That game's never coming out.
Yeah, you can send in like concept art and shit for
Yeah,
it. I thought it was really neat.
It is not coming out. That game is so far away.
Yeah.
If they're at,
I'd say 2020.
I don't think so at all. I think it's going to be very far away. I definitely think it's next gen. If they didn't even say
Yeah,
didn't say
that's fair.
that, I definitely think it's a next gen game. But that was cool. And unfortunately, that's the end of my interest in this conference. When we hit Trials, I was bored. That went on way too long.
God, I did.
Yeah, the goofs of knocking over the TV. I was like, okay,
That
I'm
was
done
weird.
with this. Then it went straight into the Division, which I was falling asleep for. The Skull and Bones stuff.
So I started out being excited about. I thought they were gonna kind of do like an in-depth look at like how the classes have changed and like let's look at the skill trees and stuff. And it was just kind of like more of the same that we saw on the Microsoft platform, which I was kind of bummed out about because I think they spent the most time on this game, like showing off the gameplay in the Division and things like that.
Yeah, I think so too. I'm not sure, but it felt like it.
It did definitely felt like it. Like
Yeah.
I felt like I was kind of stuck watching that.
Yes, like I said, Skull and Bones they showed off a lot. Transference is the first thing that they showed that I cared about, and the only thing that they showed that I cared about, which is that VR Elijah Wood partnership where they're making like a VR movie game hybrid that deals with going into people's like subconscious and their mind and kind of like finding some twisted stuff. They described it as a thriller.
Right.
I'm super excited for that.
I think it's cool.
Starlink I thought was No Man's Sky for a long
Yeah,
time. And I was like, they partnered with Ubisoft for
Yeah.
No Man's Sky. And
Yeah.
I was like, this is crazy. And then it turned out it was a Toys to Life game. And I was like, oh,
Yeah.
I don't care. And then they did Star Fox. And me and Nick freaked out. And then they're like, it's a mission for the Starlink. And I was
Yeah.
like, oh, I got trolled.
Yeah, that was weird.
That was not good.
Not a great one.
And then, yeah, the Crew 2. My problem with Ubisoft is I thought the conference was actually, like, okay. If you liked those games, the For Honors and whatever, if you liked those games, you probably enjoyed this conference.
Right.
As somebody who isn't going to buy any of the games except for the game that's not coming out for 18 years and this one VR experience, nothing for me. I was bored.
I'm probably going to get some of these games, so I was a little interested. But I always think Ubisoft's so gimmicky. Like,
Yeah.
I just start like.
The thing
cringing
is,
when
they
Ubisoft
play
does it.
into it. Like, they know that they suck
Yeah.
in that regard, and they play into it enough that I'm like, okay, Dancing Panda, let's do this.
Yeah,
Like,
it's
who cares? Who cares at this point?
every year though. I'm just like, yeah. So, but I thought the content they had was fine.
What would you give it?
I give it a C.
A C?
Yeah.
Okay. I gave it a C minus. I thought it was slightly better than EA's and Bethesda's, but I was still, and that's just because like I
think
don't
it's
like
right
these
there with
games.
EA.
Next up, Sony. We saw this one in the theater, so slightly biased. Different, environment. But,
Right.
Last of Us 2 gameplay trailer revealed. Call of Duty Black Ops 3 is free for everybody on PlayStation Plus. Ghost of Tsushima's gameplay revealed. Control, a new game by Remedy, was revealed. Death Stranding trailer and gameplay revealed. Rick and Morty creators revealed a new game. Kingdom Hearts 3 trailer, all-in-one package, and a Pro that's modeled at
Kingdom Hearts 3
revealed.
looks good.
Resident Evil 2 remake and release date revealed. Spider-Man 4 or Spider-Man PS4 trailer has
what a cool trailer.
Sinister Six stuff in it,
Yeah.
and then the pre-show stuff, which was like God of War gets New Game Plus, Tetris Effect, which Be Still My Heart. I didn't get to gush about this yet on the podcast. Oh my gosh, Tetris Effect is like the thing I want the most. It's coming out this year.
It looks neat.
I'm so excited.
Some Beat Saber.
Beat Saber was announced. Ghost Giant was announced, which is
neat.
very similar to Moss. It looks like the idea of being part of this VR world. Man, I loved the VR announcements.
The VR announcements they all look cool.
Yeah,
Dreams. They spent a lot on Dreams.
Yeah, they like had Dreams intermissions in between
cool.
the different
They were
stuff.
But
so let's go down the list. Last of Us 2. Incredible.
It was the best part of the conference.
Oh my god.
The setup
it was
for
crazy.
The setup for it was insane. The trailer was insane. The gameplay was insane. Everybody in the theater was just like completely quiet.
Yeah,
Just,
it was
like,
crazy.
believed
Everybody
the
started
development.
cheering when the HUD showed up
Yeah.
and they were showing some gameplay.
It
They
was
added
crazy.
a dodge button, so their combat's more dynamic. They added
combat looks really
they added
clean.
a prone. They added a scurry, like kind of backwards, that you can like crawl under buses and trucks
Cars
and stuff.
right.
They made it so that you can squeeze through things now. They talked about really wanting it to be dynamic in that way, where you can fit. If it looks like you can fit through it, you can probably squeeze through it and get through it, and that helps the combat.
And Ellie really feels like she's lived in this world for a while now.
Oh yeah,
really
I think
cool.
it's 4 years after.
Yeah.
She looks awesome. Obviously the captures, the first ever kiss in a video game that doesn't look awkward.
Yeah, that was
like I've never seen a video game like you get like the Heavy Rain stuff where it's just like people pressing their faces together.
Yeah.
And this is the first one that I've ever seen that I'm like, oh, that looks like a kiss.
Yeah,
That's impressive.
yeah.
Oh my gosh.
The graphics from like they've done some side by sides of like Ellie then and now, and I'm like, holy shit, this
She
game
looks
looks
so
so
good.
It's crazy.
And then they've talked about some more stuff. There's new enemies, like new infected enemies, new clickers that are going to be in the environment. And then the big thing that they're working on, besides new crafting and new mechanics for everything, is the AI is totally redone.
Right.
All the enemies have names, like they're real people.
Right.
They all talk to each other by their names, and they have actual AI settings. So if you get seen by this guy, everybody's not going to come looking for you.
Right.
Only this guy knows, and he'll call out to his actual friend by name, and he'll call out to another group. So like you can actually stop that chain from happening.
Right.
And they really wanted the enemies to be real people.
On a similar note, if you kill like, let's say there's Mark and Bob, and you kill Mark first, like Bob's going to react a different way than if you kill Bob first.
Yeah,
and you're like, what?
It's
This
so
game looks
cool.
incredible.
It's
I'm
so
excited.
cool.
It's going to be my game of the year when I play it. I'm so excited about this game. It's
Oh
the best
my
part
gosh.
of the conference.
I mean,
by
we could
far.
just stop right here.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeez.
And it opened up with this.
That I think was a mistake. We'll
If
talk.
they ended with this, it would have been insane.
Yeah,
Like,
I don't know why they didn't.
Yeah.
So, do we want to talk about like?
This conference did not end well, I don't think.
We'll talk about them after.
Okay.
We'll just do content right now. Next up, the Call of Duty Black Ops stuff. It's free for everybody. That's cool. I got it. I haven't played it. I probably won't play it. But that's cool.
It was a cool announcement.
It's cool that they gave it to everybody. Ghost of Tsushima gameplay.
Holy shit.
Another
This
one.
is
I was
another
like,
one.
this is awesome.
Yeah. And in between all these, there were little dream characters that were cracking me up.
They're really funny.
They were hilarious. I'm like so excited about that game whenever it comes out. But this Ghost of Tsushima game looks insane. It might be one of the most beautiful games I've ever seen on a console. Like
it's really pretty,
looks
especially
so
that
pretty.
fight with the like the
With the
cherry
leaves
blossoms
falling.
going or
Holy
whatever.
shit,
Yeah.
this game looks cool. Man.
Yeah, so I didn't think I'd care that much about the game. It was described last year when they announced it as Breath of the Wild,
Right.
but in this world. And I was like, okay. And the opening of the game was literally the Breath of the Wild opening. He walks and stands on the rock, and they're like, you can go anywhere you want.
You like look at something and he kind of like squints and zooms in
and
on it.
you can go there. And that is
And
so
then
cool.
he like whistles to his horse and starts brushing through the grass, and you can tell they're just like flaunting how beautiful a game they made. You just see like this crazy, like grass weeds blowing, and then
yeah, they sold me on the game. They
crazy.
did it.
they sold me on the game in like 60 seconds of this trailer, and then it kept going, and it was beautiful.
Yeah, it was really
So
awesome.
cool.
Next up, Death Stranding had some gameplay, had 2 new character reveals. I don't know who those actresses are. I know some of them are in movies and stuff. I didn't know who they were.
One of
not Emma Stone. That's
the one
for
at
sure.
the end, I can't remember her name, but she's in a popular TV show like on television.
That's where TV shows usually are. Actually, that's not true anymore. I guess Netflix and stuff.
Yeah.
TV shows. I liked this trailer. It's interesting. So the game is you are a messenger. You're a delivery guy. You're very much going from here to here, carrying packages. That leads to a lot of really cool Kojima stuff, like what's in the box? What is it that you're transporting? Is everybody trying to get to you because you're transporting something and you don't know what you're transporting? Are you the only
person that transports these things?
It's a big reveal. Are you swapping characters and like he's going here and you're both going to meet at the same guy? Like, what is going on?
Like while you're traveling through the world, you don't see any more like humans.
No.
You run into another
very dead open world.
Yeah.
Clearly on purpose.
It's super weird looking. And then I don't know. I was confused when this started.
I think that's the point.
Because it just looked like a walking simulator where your backpack grows bigger. And I was like, oh, this game's gonna suck.
I agree. It looked like a walking simulator. Kojima came out and said he specifically didn't want to show any action in the trailers.
But then, like at the end of this like walking simulator part of the trailer, he pulls out a gun, and you're like, oh, cool. And then it goes to like another segment.
So there's some interesting stuff in there. You can dissect it if you want, but like my favorite mechanic or whatever you want to call it from it is Timefall, which is the water in the world. If you touch it, you age.
Right.
So they all walk around with these umbrellas and stuff because they're like terrified of the rain.
Yeah.
Because it'll just age and kill you. And then there's 2 clear parallel like worlds going at the same time in this. One has the weird baby footprint things, and there's these 5 hunters that are like, I don't know if they're hunters, but there's these 5 things that are flying around. There's a baby that's used for energy. I don't know what this is, but I was interested.
You eat babies?
Yeah. You eat maggot things to protect yourself from the timefall.
They look like babies.
No, they're maggots for sure.
They were like skin colored though, with little arms.
Yeah.
If you look at the trailer, there's like got 6 arms and they got hands on the end of them.
Oh, really?
It's super
I'll
gross.
Have to check it out again. But yeah, I was down with this trailer because Kojima's weird.
Yeah, I want to play this game.
I was like, I don't know what this is. I'm excited.
But I still don't know what it is.
That's the point. You're not going to know what it is even when you play it. I guarantee you.
So weird. I wanted like a story, like just like a setup. Is what I was really wanting.
I think we will get that eventually, but it's not yet.
The game trailer, it was cool and it was interesting and it had me intrigued, but after it was over, I was kind of just like...
Yeah, I would not... I mean, I think it was finally placed in the press conference. I think right in the middle.
The least exciting part.
I thought that they might end with it, and I'm glad they didn't. But it was cool. I enjoyed it, but I liked the other 2 trailers better, but we're getting an idea of what's happening.
I mean, the game's not done, obviously, but like graphically, compared to the other 2 games we saw right before it, I was just kind of like, this doesn't look that great.
Oh yeah, it definitely looks worse than the other 2,
a
but
lot worse.
They've only been working on like when they get Kojima 2 years ago, like it hasn't been that long.
Right.
They got an engine like a year and a half ago for the game.
Right.
So.
It looks like it's super early.
Yeah.
Who knows when we'll get this game.
Correct. Next up, the 2, I think they might have been back to back. The 2 big things for me. Kingdom Hearts 3 got a new trailer, revealed Pirates of the Caribbean world, and it looked insane.
It looked really neat.
It looked insane. There's not Sea of Thieves. There's Skull and Bones style boat combat going on.
The boat combat looked really cool.
You can jump over. You can fight underwater, which is normally a negative, but it looked so cool that I was on board with it.
This game looks incredible.
There was some talk that I really liked from Jack Sparrow, and they were talking about a box, which is something from the mobile game. If you've played the mobile game, you know what they're talking about. That's exciting.
I've only played 1 and 2, and I was kind of lost in some of these trailers.
Oh yeah,
Craig was like, "Oh, I'm so excited about this," and I was like, "Okay, I don't know what's going on anymore."
Dude, me and Craig were freaking out.
Yeah, I have so much stuff to catch up on. But the game, just the gameplay and the worlds and everything looks so amazing in this game.
Yeah, and then
it's such a cool experience.
They revealed Kyrie. Which is cool because we have not seen Kyrie yet. So they revealed Kyrie and some other stuff. Yeah, I freaked out during that. That was definitely one of my 2 biggest moments.
I didn't freak out that much because it's like the 3rd or 4th time we had seen Kingdom Hearts.
But it's pirates, And they see you didn't play the other ones.
Right.
Pirates, them revealing Kyrie. There's another thing that was in there that I don't want to talk about.
I just didn't want to see Kingdom
who
Hearts
haven't
again.
seen
Not
it.
gonna lie.
And them talking about the mobile stuff is really exciting because that's like a big mystery.
Yeah, the PlayStation is really
this box
neat.
thing is a huge mystery in the Kingdom
The
Hearts.
PlayStation thing, the PlayStation Pro that they're releasing for it looks amazing.
Yeah, I kind of want
It looks so good.
I kind of want it.
Yeah, Lindsay. We'll go over everything. I'll show it.
Resident Evil 2. Awesome,
people
amazing
freaking
trailer.
Freaked.
Lost
when
my
this-
mind.
Yeah,
Looks
everybody
like
lost
Resident
their mind.
Evil 4, like redone,
Mm-hmm.
like Resident Evil 4, which I feel like is really fitting. I originally wanted first person with VR.
Mm-hmm.
I'm happy with the direction that they took it. They've played gameplay of it now since then, and it is everything I wanted and more.
Yeah.
And it's coming in January.
It was a bummer that we didn't get to see Final Fantasy VII.
I'm not surprised.
I was kind of expecting to see that and not Resident Evil 2.
I was kind of expecting to see both, but I'm not surprised we didn't see Final Fantasy. That game is in trouble.
Yeah, it is. That's a bummer.
And then Spider-Man. What about Spider-Man? Good trailer. Revealed the Sinister
The trailer
Six.
was really cool.
Somebody showed up at the end, whether it's a hero, like Iron Man came in to save the day.
It didn't feel like a hero. It felt
whether
like-
it's a vet, like it is the sixth of the
Yeah.
Sinister Six, like who's behind
I
it
think
all.
it's like Kingpin, probably.
He's flying up on a building.
Oh, that's true. I guess he flew, didn't he?
I don't know. I was thinking it was his.
I'm not sure.
I was thinking it was that girl. I don't know anything about Spider-Man. That girl that he was flying with in the beginning, that he was like protecting, like the good.
Oh,
it's
yeah.
like a reveal that she's actually a villain.
Yeah,
That's what I got out of it.
maybe.
Either that or it's Miles, because we know Miles is in the game.
Mhm.
It's him donning in the costume.
Yeah, so the
could
cinematic
see
trailer
any
was,
of that.
or the trailer was cool. Like the cinematics during like when you're playing through this prison scene was really cool.
Mm-hmm.
The combat looks super fun.
Yes.
It's cool. Like later on, they tell you that you've been Peter Parker, or you that you've been Spider-Man.
You've been Peter Parker the whole time.
Yeah. Later on, they tell you you've been Spider-Man in this game for 8 years, so you're kind of experienced, and you have a lot of gadgets and stuff that you get. There's different costumes and things you can get like throughout the game. There's little achievement boxes they show that you can like pick up.
Oh yeah.
That
They had the wrestling poster.
Yeah, that was really neat. There's a lot of like cool like shout outs to some of the movies in the game.
It looks awesome.
It looks really cool.
Yeah.
It's like
I don't think
also
they should have
showed off-
closed the show with it, but it looks
No,
awesome.
and they spent a lot of time on it too.
Yeah, and it's coming out in a few.
Yeah.
Like, I think it's always weird spending a lot of time on something, especially when it's that close and it's playable at the show floor.
Yeah,
Like,
it
the
felt
press
like
is
they were
gonna cover
really
it.
just
They're
trying
gonna-
to sell me on this game,
they're going to play it.
which I already wanted to play it. Like,
right,
before
yeah,
this.
I would have played this regardless, so.
Yeah.
But I think
was
they
weird how they
heard
did
the
it.
criticism of Mr. Negative's the only thing, and they wanted to
Yeah.
be like, look, there's other villains, guys,
Yeah.
shut up.
And it was cool. There's like these, there's like crimes going on all over Manhattan where you're at, and you get to go around and like
They're,
start
like, side things,
start
yeah.
the mission, but it's like going on at the same time as the other like missions.
Mhm.
It's really neat. There's time trials and things. It looks really fun.
So what would you give Sony's press conference?
I would give it an A+.
An A+.
An A+.
Damn. So here's my thing. Content-wise, I want to give it an A-.
Hmm.
But I'm going to give it a B+ right now
Yeah.
because I want to talk about it after we're done. Because I'm a little torn on some stuff in Sony's.
So this is the first Sony conference that sold me on a PlayStation.
Yeah. Well, you've been talking about wanting a PlayStation for a while.
Yeah, and-
Especially like God of War is one of your favorite series, and you've just never jumped in.
Yeah, I've always been a little hesitant. And then Lindsay was, she was like, I kind of want a PlayStation now.
See, that was my trick. I was like,
Yeah.
is Lindsay going to come?
Yeah.
I'm going to get her a ticket.
Yeah, so Lindsay, she's
I
like,
tricked you.
she likes games. She doesn't play them a lot. She doesn't get super hardcore in them, but she loves games that we can play together.
Yeah.
And there's,
Ooh, Overcooked.
yeah.
There you go. You guys can yell at each other.
Yeah, she did want to switch. I talked her out of the Switch real fast. I don't want to switch.
I mean, the Switch is cool, but it's a complimentary.
Yeah.
Like, it's after you have a base console, you can get a Switch.
And she's a huge Disney fan. And she's never played any of the Kingdom Hearts games. She saw all these trailers and she was like, oh, "What is this?" And I was
Her
like,
and Wendy just need to hang out and play games together. Because
Yeah.
I played all the Kingdom Hearts games
Mhm.
with Wendy watching, and she really liked them. And then I played The Last of Us with her, and that was when I think,
Lindsay would love that.
dude, Wendy literally left after The Last of Us 2 trailer and
Yeah.
went in the bathroom and cried.
That's-
like, she lost it.
Lindsay was like, she was like, "I don't know what that is, but I already loved that character. She sounds so familiar. Who is that?" And I was like, "You probably know her."
All right, let's talk about Nintendo real
Okay.
quick. Nintendo had Daemon X Machina trailer revealed, which was that mech game by one of the Armored Core studios.
The trailer was cool.
Or not studios, but directors. Yeah, the trailer was fine. I was like a little bit like, is this like a big reveal? Because it was weird to open the show with it. And
it was long, too.
And then it wasn't. And I was like, oh, okay. And it had a really abrupt ending. I was like, that was strange. Fortnite coming to the Switch. Download now. Okay.
Kind of expecting that.
I'm going to get to that in a minute. Pokemon Let's Go, How to Get Mew, the Pokeball, all that stuff. Xenoblade 2 got DLC. Nobody cares except for Nick and maybe Zach. Super Smash Bros. Ultimate roster revealed. Super Mario Party's coming to the Switch. GameCube controllers work. The roster for Ultimate was revealed, and Ridley was announced for Smash. Wow, did that not seem like a lot of announcements, and did it seem very heavy in Smash? That's because this conference
The whole conference was Smash,
my gosh.
Smash.
Okay, so let's just get into it. Here we go. Fortnite Switch. This is the first thing I want to talk about. Let me tell you a story. I am leaving literally tomorrow on a plane, and I'm gone for a week. I was so happy Fortnite Switch was announced. I was hoping it would get announced.
Yeah.
I wanted to do my dailies and all that and my weekly challenges while I'm gone. I was like, this is the perfect thing. I don't need to bring anything with me but my Switch.
Right.
Download it. Go to log in. You can't play on this console because you're linked with another console that doesn't allow you to link with the Switch. This is not Epic's, doing. Please don't contact us about this. And I was just like, are you freaking kidding me? You can't play on the Switch when you're linked with the PlayStation 4. And just to put
Only
that,
the PlayStation 4.
Yeah, and just to put that in context for people, this isn't crossplay. This isn't like, oh, PlayStation 4 can't play with the Switch. That's fine. I understand why people are mad that PlayStation blocks that.
Yeah.
I understand why PlayStation blocks it. If they let you do that when PlayStation's winning and they have the most players, then people could be like, well, I'm going to get a Switch because I can still play with you.
Yeah.
But they want to keep the most players. So they're like, well, the only way you can play with us is to get this console, and then they get more and more people. I totally get that. I think that's totally reasonable.
Right.
That's not what they're doing. They're blocking your account, your email address, basically, from logging in on another console. That's BS. Like, that is such garbage.
It's pretty ridiculous.
I hope that everybody that's tweeting them and mad at them keeps doing it and they get this changed. Because, like I said, the crossplay thing, I understand why it's frustrating. I understand that.
It is creating some dank memes, though.
Dude, they are, like, they're literally hostaging your Epic account without your consent, basically.
It's crazy.
And, like, if they warned me about this, that you weren't going to be able to do this, I would have started Fortnite on Xbox. I would have played it on Xbox, so I have Xbox and Switch to play it on.
Right.
Now, even if you unlink your account, you can't log in still. It still puts a black mark on your account. It is such garbage, and I am so furious at them.
It's crazy that, the Fortnite developers wouldn't just be like, guys, you can't do this. Like,
well, I don't know. But Fortnite on Switch has party chat. What the... They did it. Nintendo's games don't even have party chat. You can just plug in a headset and talk to the people.
Yeah.
This is the best thing ever, and I can't play it.
Sorry, buddy.
It's so ridiculous. I'm so mad at Sony for this. Next up, the Let's Go games had a little bit more information revealed about them that kind of revealed how to catch the Pokemon, transfer from Pokemon Go accounts. You can transfer from any Pokemon Go account. It's not like linked specifically to one. If you're on a Sony phone, it won't connect to the Switch. No. If you buy the Pokeball accessory, you get Mew in the game.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, that seems a little cheap to me. I know Mew's like not a good Pokemon. It's just kind of an iconic Pokemon, but I don't like that that's the way that you get Mew.
That's the only way?
I think so. Besides maybe transferring it from Pokemon Go, but Pokemon Go, you get one Mew only. So you would lose your Mew.
Right.
So that's not good. And I'm not even 100% sure you can transfer that. It might be like you can't transfer that. Xenoblade 2 got some DLC. This was a big seeming expansion for it. They are actually reselling the game now with the expansion code and the game together for like $40, which is neat. I know I was joking earlier, but I know actually I got 3 or 4 people that messaged me that were excited about this. So that's cool for you guys.
Yeah.
My announcement from this conference, Super Mario Party coming to Switch, and you're not in the dumb car. It looks like a true Mario Party game. They did some neat stuff where they were playing with 2 Switches and like making the map together, and then they dragged their finger to kind of show
this is some
how
real
it connects.
millennial rooftop party business.
Dude, I'm gonna millennial rooftop party so hard with this game. And it's coming out in October. This is what I'm gonna be playing on my Switch until Smash comes out. I'm totally on board. Love it. I have no complaints about this.
As
Super
much as,
excited, and the Joy-Cons are perfect for it.
Yeah, as much as they give shit to Nintendo and the Switch and stuff, I think the company's fine and all that. I'm just tired of all the characters, but this game looks really cool. I'm sure I'll be playing it with Kevin some.
You're tired of the characters. Let's talk about Smash.
Oh,
66 characters, it seems like, are going to be on this.
Every character from
every Smash
game.
Brothers is in Smash Ultimate, and I imagine we're going to get DLC later. They said that there's some weird way to kind of unlock them. I don't know what that means. They didn't explain it. Well. They asked them in an interview later. They said they're not sure yet.
What they did do is go through every character and how they reworked them all for this game.
Yeah, that was a little much.
Didn't really want to see.
I mean, I care about that stuff, but not during your E3 presentation.
Yeah,
that like
it was weird.
Yeah, it was weird. That's like a Smash Direct.
And then after all that, they revealed like the new character for the game.
Yeah, they're like, "Are you still with us?"
Yeah.
Here we go. The changes are cool though. I like that they simplified the UI. Like they put the Squid Kids ink down below, so you can always see.
They did a bunch of cool
You can
stuff
see
in
the
game.
limit meter for Cloud at all times. Like you can see what item Villager stole. Like all that stuff is really really neat. The only change I think that they made that I don't like is they changed Pit's Final Smash. And I don't like his new Final Smash compared to his old one.
A lot of the Final Smashes look really...
They changed all of them.
Yeah,
they made them
really
all
cool,
fast because I think that they wanted them to not last very long. My prediction is because Smash Online is going to be a thing, and they don't want people rage quitting the game in the middle of a super.
Right.
That's my guess.
Yeah, I can
because
see
like
that.
people do that in like
It
Injustice.
looks like they did
you like super somebody in Injustice, and
Yeah.
they just leave the match.
It looks like they did a lot of things to make this game. I don't know a good way to put it. Almost like they're like obviously they put out all these characters for the Smash fans, but just the way they kind of like they kind of did that with like all the nostalgia of all these Smash characters, and then they were like trying to bring new people into this game as well, like at the same time.
Oh, like new human beings to play the game.
Right.
Yeah. And I think they did a good job. Snake being in the game is huge.
Yeah, that was crazy.
Konami sucks, and they got Konami's thing, and then they did a troll with Bomberman, which I was not appreciative of, because I really wanted Bomberman in the game, and they showed basically what he would look like if he was playable, and then he wasn't playable.
He's just a trophy?
Yeah, he's an assist trophy, so that was kind of unfortunate. Daisy, they talked about Echo characters, all that stuff. All the reveals for Smash I thought were cool. The changes that they make seem interesting. You do more damage in one-on-ones. They're trying to make the games faster.
Right.
You can't dodge more than like 6 times in a row, or your dodge just starts sucking. Your shield breaks. Like you have to like perfect time your shield now to get like the counter attack in.
It's almost like that's it. Instead of a shield, it's like almost like a parry now.
Yeah, they're really trying to make the games go quicker, so people don't just hide and roll away and dodge the whole game.
And things like that, like I'm not a big Smash guy, but all these changes kind of make me want to play Smash.
Yeah, I'm excited to play it. Like I said, I don't really have any complaints about it, except I think the release date is kind of crappy. December 7th, I think it was.
Yeah.
It's weird to release after Black Friday, especially.
I agree.
But what are you going to do? It's got 66 characters in it, whatever. I'm a little scared that it's going to launch with like 30, and then they're going to add.
Yeah, it was weird.
30.
They were like, we're going to start with a small
clear-
roster.
they
Here's
weren't
8 of them.
clear.
Yeah. But they showed 8, and then they showed all these boxes filling up.
Yeah,
and filling up.
I'm just a little nervous about how you unlock them. So we'll see. We'll get more information. There'll be a direct.
They did
with
this cool
Smash,
like cinematic to reveal Ridley.
Sure.
From Metroid, which is really cool.
Ridley been asked for since like Melee. People
for
really
a
wanted
while.
Ridley. It's nice to have like an opposite character.
I think they
your
scaled
people.
Ridley down really well to like
He
the
looks
Smash
cool.
size. Yeah,
They need a
he's still
Captain
big and
Falcon
bulky.
villain now.
Yeah.
I think, but
He's still big and bulky, kind of like he almost reminds me of like Charizard, like
Yeah,
the big and bulky.
actually, yeah, they got rid of Charizard as a single character. Now he's back to
Pokemon
being
trainer.
Pokemon trainer, and you can be
Who's it?
Ivysaur, Squirtle,
and Charizard.
Yep, and you can swap between them, and there's no
you
penalty.
can play a male or female trainer, and it changes the color of the Pokemon.
Oh yeah.
That was cool.
I know you can play male and female. You can play a female Pikachu now too.
Yeah.
The Squid Kid looks awesome. Definitely the coolest looking of
It looks like there's a little more
stuff.
customization in the game. You know,
Yeah,
with,
I'm happy with what we saw. I'm just disappointed that it's all we saw, meaning Smash. Like
yeah,
there
it was basically the entire
there
conference.
was no there
They
was
went
no
through this clip
Metroid,
of, like-
there was no Animal Crossing, there was no Yoshi was supposed to come out this year. No Yoshi.
They went through this like just reeling clip of games that were coming out on the Switch, but they were just a bunch of indie games. But it was like game after game after
They
game.
put Dragon Ball in that, and they didn't talk about Dragon
They
Ball.
didn't talk about any of these games.
No, and
They
that's
just-
going to be my complaint when
Yeah.
we're going to compare these conferences in a second. But what would you grade Nintendo?
It was a weird one. I'd give it a C+.
C plus.
Yeah, I kind of had it like an issue. It was just like Smash. It was like
It was
E3
just
Smash. It was weird.
I'm gonna give it a B-.
Like Smash was so cool. It got me excited to play the game.
Yeah, it was cool,
But-
but there was nothing else to it.
Yeah, it was kind of lackluster in other respects to it for sure.
All right, so let's talk about what wasn't there really quick, and then we'll go into actually picking who we think won E3. So what wasn't there? We can just rattle off some stuff. So I don't want to go for stuff like Animal Crossing because that was never announced or even really rumored.
Right.
But Yoshi, supposed to come out 2018, got delayed until 2019.
But didn't even get revealed or talked about or anything.
There was that new Fire Emblem game at Nintendo's, but it was delayed until 2019.
Mm-hmm.
It actually looked pretty cool, though. There was a Rocksteady Superman rumor going around that they had a Superman game to reveal. That didn't show up. No Rocksteady at all at any of the conferences. No Blue Point remastered game. They were talking that they had a big remaster they were working on. I was hoping it was Ico or maybe the Medieval remaster. That didn't
Warner
show
Brother
up.
didn't even show up. Like
No.
they didn't do
They
anything.
changed their logo to E3 Warner Brothers, and they didn't show up.
Super weird.
Yeah.
They made an announcement, I think it was on like Twitter last night, about a reveal, and then they didn't say anything else. Nothing happened today. So it's super confusing.
It's like the Medieval thing. More details soon.
So that's
Not really.
that's kind of what they said.
You're a liar.
But there was Mortal Kombat kind of
Mortal Kombat wasn't there.
teased, and it never, they didn't.
Dead or Alive 6 got announced. That was cool.
Yeah, that wasn't it.
Yeah. What else was not here? Oh,
The Avengers game.
The Avengers game wasn't
was a big
there.
one.
Final Fantasy VII Remake wasn't
there. Borderlands 3. This was one that I was like for sure
100%.
thought was going to happen on the Microsoft platform. And they were going through all these fucking games that I didn't give a shit about being on their platform. And they didn't show Borderlands. I was so freaking mad about it. Microsoft, what the hell?
Yeah, that was really bad. Blood and Truth, I believe it's called, which is a VR game that they announced at PSX last year or something like that, Paris Games Week maybe, which was kind of like the London Heist in VR, like full game. It was kind of like James Bond. That I thought would get something. Like that didn't get anything. I don't know. It was obviously Medieval. Like
I was
it was weird.
Kind of expecting a Halo Wars 2 like some kind of
Expansion.
Yeah, I was gonna say DLC. Sorry, we didn't bring a water up here. That was a mistake.
Didn't think about that.
Yeah, we've been doing a lot of talking. I'm getting dried out over here.
Yeah, I'm sorry, man.
But yeah, I was kind of expecting that, and we didn't hear like anything about it. So it's like almost like they made that game and just kind of forgot about it.
Yeah, they did talk about it a little bit, but I don't even remember what they said.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yeah, but there was just a lot of games that I feel like people were excited. Oh, Splinter Cell.
Oh, Splinter Cell.
Like all of the Walmart leaks were true.
Yep.
Rage 2 was real.
Yeah.
Obviously, Forza was the wrong number, but Gears 5.
Walmart's where you go to get your game news now.
Yeah, all that stuff was true.
Yeah.
Where is Splinter Cell? I don't understand.
Yeah.
I don't understand. It was infuriating that Splinter Cell wasn't there. So yeah, that's stuff that I wish we saw that didn't.
I was really
didn't really show up.
As a whole. I was kind of let down by this.
I think it was one of the worst E3s that we've had. It wasn't like bad, but it was just like neutral.
Yeah,
like
I agree.
there wasn't
there
a lot
there
of
were so many like disappointments though of things that weren't there that we just talked about.
That, and there wasn't I think the biggest oh my god was Resident Evil 2 and Kingdom Hearts reveals. Like those were the things I feel like people were like freaking out over. I don't really think Ubisoft had a freak out thing. I don't think EA had a freak out thing. I don't think Microsoft had a freak out thing. I like there was nothing.
I guess Kingdom Hearts being on the Xbox.
Well, we knew it was on Xbox from 2013.
Yeah, but it just yeah, that's fair.
Yeah, like we knew it was there. The fact that they're like pushing it, they had a big Japanese push in general. They had jump, strike, jump.
Oh, we didn't even talk about that game.
Yeah, well, I did. You can talk about it.
Yeah, all right. So I don't like the Dragon Ball Xenoverse games, and that's what this game is basically.
That's
with
why
jump characters.
I was iffy on it.
So I'm pretty iffy on this to start out with. I didn't play a lot of the Xenoverse games, but I played a little bit because I love. I love most of the jump characters. One Piece, Naruto, Death Note, Bleach, Dragon Ball Z. A lot of cool stuff. Love all these things. But man, I don't like the gameplay of the Xenoverse games.
I don't like the gameplay, and I don't like the art design.
The art design's okay.
I know
if
Nick's
they did
gonna
this
get
like
it, and I'll play it.
If they did this like Dragon Ball Fighters, I would be like
Way
jizzing my
more
pants
excited,
while I was
yeah.
watching that. It was
Dude, play as Ryuk in Dragon Ball.
so cool.
Like Dragon
be
Ball
so
Fighter
cool.
style. Oh, that'd be sweet. It is 3v3 fights
Yeah.
and stuff.
People kind of lost their mind when they saw.
Light.
Yeah.
Yeah, I did. I got really excited.
Yeah.
but-
And I was trying to think of the
Ryuk.
Ryuk.
Yeah.
Light and Ryuk at the end. People were freaking. I was just like, that's cool.
I that was the one I was like, I'll play this game.
Yeah, I'll play it.
Will I buy
I
it?
don't think I'm gonna like
no,
it.
but I'll play it.
I don't think I'm gonna buy it.
Yeah, I'll wait for
I thought
it.
I was like when I saw it and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's gonna be sweet. And then I was listening to one of my favorite streamers talk about it a little more. And he was like, yeah, I don't really like Dragon Ball Xenoverse. I was like, yeah, I don't either. I don't think I'm gonna get that
like
game.
Either. It's like
Yeah.
Azor's Wrath and stuff like that. So let's talk about who we think won. We're gonna kind of break down not the game announcements. We've talked about them. We're done with that. But just E3 in general. Who do you think won? Do you think it was a blowout? You gave Sony.
I think it
gave
was
Sony an A+, and the second highest you gave was a C+.
Yeah, I don't even think it was close. I think Sony, they almost like re-envisioned their normal E3s this year. Oh shit!
Do it. Okay, go ahead.
They almost like reimagined, like reinvented themselves with their E3s this year. The way they did it, they set it up like in the church for the first one, and went right into the church in The Last of Us Part 2.
Yeah, that was so cool.
They had they had like a musical guest for the first two games, which was really neat.
That's where I'm hung up on Sony's, but I'll get
You
there.
don't like
Keep
them?
going. I'll explain.
It just felt very much like they were trying to reimagine like what an E3 conference is going to look like.
Yeah, they always do the most presentation.
Yeah.
They do the orchestra playing with the games and
Right.
all the stuff. And I think as far as presentation, they're never touched. And I think this is the first year they flubbed the presentation a little bit. And I'm
a little
I'm
bit.
going to get to that. But that's why, for me, it's between Microsoft and Sony. Nintendo didn't have a presentation. They
At
just
all,
showed
yeah.
trailers. Reggie showed up for a minute, but usually like they do the puppet shows.
Yeah,
and
usually Reggie's
they usually
all
have
about
like
it.
a theme going through theirs, and they had nothing.
Right.
It felt like a regular direct.
It did.
Nintendo's,
It was weird.
and I didn't like that at all. That's why I was so
didn't-
down on
I didn't like-
Nintendo's. I'm not even going to talk about EA and Bethesda.
E3 as a
It's
whole,
Ubisoft.
E3 as a whole this year,
They're out.
I didn't like the way they set it up.
No, and they like put stuff out ahead of time.
It was very elongated. Like it went on for days. It started
Yeah.
Saturday with
It was way
some-
too much.
Some people
And
It
Sony
made
started
it hard for me to
revealing
watch
stuff on
everything.
Saturday. Every day they had a reveal, and then they recapped all the reveals at their show. And I'm like, what was the point of that? Why didn't you just reveal these at your show? I don't understand.
It was weird. They felt very chaotic. A lot of this, there was a lot of recycled things through. I mean, we saw Kingdom Hearts 3 or 4 times, which I feel like one platform could have just showed all of this and like talked about it.
Sure.
And it would have been cool.
So just to give Nick his thing, he said EA D+, Microsoft A-, Bethesda A, Square Enix D-, Ubisoft C-, Sony B, and Nintendo A. So he gave it to either Bethesda or Nintendo as his lead. I think those were two pretty low ones.
Those were what were my two lowest?
Your two lowest were a D to Bethesda and
a C to Nintendo?
No, you gave Nintendo a C+.
Okay.
You have a C to Square, a C to EA, and a C to Ubisoft. So you kind of bunched them all down below, though.
Yeah.
Okay, so for me, this is where I'm hung up. Microsoft, I think, clearly had the most reveals, most quantity, not close. Like, Sony showed off like 13 games. They showed off more than that if you include like the little intermission stuff.
Right.
But they showed off like 20 games at most. Microsoft showed off 50. 15 of those probably like montage stuff. The problem is they were almost all third-party games that I'm not playing on Microsoft consoles, and they weren't huge announcements. I think Devil May Cry, while it was a big announcement, the big news was that they showed it on the Microsoft stage.
Yeah.
You know, like that was where it was weird for me. So like I enjoyed that Microsoft did the classic press conference. It had a theme. It had a host who went through the the games with you to show you them.
And kind of talking about like how they're enhancing.
Yeah, he would
Microsoft
explain some questions that you might have had. I
Right.
personally think that they explained the wrong games. I would
Oh, I
like them to
definitely agree.
explain Halo and not The Division.
in Gears, like
things
what
like that.
new things we can see in the Xbox games.
I feel like you could have ripped out all of the Ubisoft and Square stuff and left that for their conferences,
agree.
and their conference would have been a bit better. But I
definitely agree
think
with that.
they showed great great games. They showed some exclusives. I think Gears 5 looked cool.
I didn't get excited
is
during
cool.
this.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think it was like I thought it was a great showing. Just a great all the way through ahead of host. Now, where Sony, my problem is, I think as far as games I'm going to play, like if I could only buy 10 games in the next 2 years or 3 years, and I have to make my pre-orders right now, guess what they're going to be? They're going to be Spider-Man, they're going to be Ghosts, they're going to be The Last of Us, they're going to be Tetris, they're going to be Resident Evil 2. They're going they're going to be, and then it's going to be Smash Brothers and Mario Party and Kingdom Hearts 3, which I guess was technically on Xbox's stage. And is there a single Xbox game in my list? Probably
Cyberpunk?
Not. I don't.
I'm excited to play that.
Sure. But like for me personally, like those Sony games just speak to me so much more. And then the presentation. This is where I'm hung up. I thought 50% of the presentation was like the best E3 thing they've ever done, and then they just gave up halfway.
Yeah, it was
through.
weird. You're talking about Sony?
Yeah.
So they started out so strong with these first two.
They started out with a stage, and they brought out the person to play the music, and then they went into the trailer, and you realize that the trailer is the set that they're standing in.
Yeah.
And then they went to an intermission, and during the intermission, they announced some small announcements, and I was, in my mind, I was like, oh, they're doing 4 sets.
Yeah.
There's going to be 3 intermissions where they announce the third-party stuff.
Yeah.
Maybe one that's all like Call of Duty, Destiny,
and that's, I think what everyone was thinking, because that's what I was thinking.
The middle's all
Lindsay was
VR.
thinking, that's what Nick was thinking.
Yeah, I was like, this is so cool. I can't wait to see the Death Stranding music and set and the Spider-Man music and set. Like, this is going to be awesome. Then they went to the next one, and Ghost of Tsushima started, and they played the music, and they did the Ghost trailer. I'm like, this is amazing.
Yeah.
And then it was just a normal press conference after that.
Yeah, it was weird.
And that's my problem.
I agree.
feel like you either do the whole press conference as a normal press conference, and then you murdered Microsoft if you do it that way. Or you do this thing, and I understand the press was mad at them because they were having them move, and like they have to get settled, and they're writing notes and all this stuff.
With those two.
And like there's some solutions to that. You can make like a set that's 4 sets at once, and
or
just
you can set
show.
You tell the press that's what you're doing, and they just set up at each one of those events. So they go to it, and then they are there.
So, like, my thing is you set up 4 stages, and you just stream the other stage to the other people. So they still get to see everything, and you just jump to each stage with a camera, and there's a different host at each stage. I think that would have been fine. I think they can suck it up, and you can cut to the different stage. I think that there's a million ways that you could have done this. But to me, my problem with it is it felt like they gave up halfway through. And if you're going to do that awesome thing, you save it for the end. You do the end as the Last of Us.
If they would have done Spider-Man, I think they should have started out with
started
Spider-Man.
with Ghost.
Or I don't think so.
Oh, really?
Let me talk.
Do yours.
And then we'll say yours. I think they should open with Spider-Man.
Sure.
Showed that cool trailer with all the villains. Done a little gameplay, just like the combat. Kept it kind of short. Because they were going to play it much at the end, and everybody knew that. Like after the conference was over. That was going to be the big thing that they were going to let everybody play and shit. Then they show off Death Stranding. You could see the cool. Like if they were just to do the sets and stuff the same that they did this time, then they show off Death Stranding. They show that there's progress being made, and they show that cool gameplay trailer. And then we go into Ghost of Tsushima. We get the cool musical guest. We get the cool stage, and everyone's like, "Oh, this is sweet." And then if you end with that Last of Us, where you move everybody to the church.
Everybody's so happy.
Yeah, you move into the church, and everyone's like, what's going on? Why are we moving in here? The dude starts playing the banjo, and then it cuts to that, and everyone's like, holy shit, this is the coolest,
Yeah.
If it ended with that, everyone would have been like, oh, Sony wins. This is the coolest thing ever.
Yeah. I agree with that. I just feel like they did half of one thing, half of another, and it reminds me a little bit of like a DC movie.
Yeah.
Where like I can see the Zack Snyder and then I can see the Josh Whedon, and I'm like, this isn't working well together.
It's just so weird. They started out with their strongest, like one of their strongest reveals like ever. Like the Last of Us Part 2 was so freaking cool.
Yeah. And I don't think the other reveals were bad. I just don't think they were as good as The Last of Us.
It just kept getting a little worse.
Yeah, you show your second best thing first, and you end on your best. That's kind of how you do it. And I think the second best thing was Ghosts. I think you start with Ghosts.
I think so.
I think you start with Ghosts, you cut away, you reveal the Destiny and the Call of Duty and whatever.
Yeah.
Then you go back, you do Spider-Man, you get that out of the way. Then you reveal 5 new PlayStation VR games. Then you go back, and it's Death Stranding, and then you cut away and they reveal, some PlayLink games or whatever it is that
Talk
they
about
want to.
dreams a little bit.
Yeah, whatever it is. And then you go back, you show The Last of Us, and you go, that was the coolest fucking conference ever, wasn't it, guys?
Yeah.
We told you we had a plan.
Yeah.
But this felt like they had a plan, and then they didn't commit to it completely. And that's why I don't want to give Sony the win, like this was the best, because if they were to do this again next year, and they do one set and then they go to a press conference, I would be pissed. I'd be like, what are you doing? That's where I'm iffy about giving Sony the win. I feel like Microsoft stayed traditional and was a little bit wasn't as exciting.
Microsoft was super cookie cutter. It bored me.
I was bored.
I was disappointed.
I wasn't bored during.
I was disappointed with a lot of just the trailers and no gameplay, which Sony had a shit ton of gameplay for every game they showed.
That's true. Yeah, Sony's learning that they need to show gameplay. Did they show any games without gameplay?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
They even showed Dream gameplay.
Yeah, I don't know if they showed any. I mean, they might have.
For their 4 big ones, they showed a lot of gameplay, and it was like, holy shit! Like
that
the
Death
gameplay
Stranding
they showed,
thing was 9 minutes long.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
like I was expecting like a little like fast montage of like what they'd been working on, maybe some concept arts. It was just like
no concept art here.
No, it was crazy.
They know how to put on a show. Yeah. So anyway, that's where I'm personally torn. Is I feel like their conference was half done. They did the set and stuff, and they did the music opening for 2 of them, and then not the other 2.
Yeah,
like that's where I think it was weird.
So if they had like a band playing the Spider-Man theme song, I would have lost it.
Yeah, that's what I was hoping.
I was expecting it.
Yeah, that's the problem.
Yeah. I was expecting like a Manhattan like setup, and then playing the Spider-Man theme song. I was like, it's so cool.
So I almost want to give it to Microsoft in the fact that if next year the conferences were the same kind of situation, I would prefer the Microsoft situation over Sony's like half weird thing.
Sony was the first thing I got excited about.
That's fine. Sony's reveals were way better.
Yeah,
and their games were way better.
The gameplays were better. Like
it's just I'm hung up on the presentation. It bothered me that they did that weird.
Yeah, but the first 2 were insane.
Sure.
Nothing in Microsoft was insane. Microsoft was so...
you convinced me. Sony wins.
Sony was so... You texted me after the Microsoft... Or I texted... somebody texted somebody after the Microsoft conference. And it was like, that was pretty good or something. And I was like, no, it wasn't. That was really boring. I gave it like a C. And you're like, I give it like a B+. And then they showed that...
Stand by that.
They showed that game we were talking about. I always keep forgetting the name of it.
Shadows Die Twice?
Yeah, and I was like, oh, that was so cool. That was the one super cool thing that they showed a bunch of gameplay of.
Kingdom Hearts is exciting to me.
I've seen so many Kingdom Hearts trailers now.
Well, that was the first one, to be fair.
Yeah.
The first one of this year.
That was cool. I mean, I hated it, though, because I don't like Frozen.
Sure. A lot of people were mad at Frozen.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to know Frozen's
I didn't want
to be in there. That's why Pirates was exciting.
They spent so much time on Frozen.
Yeah, who cares?
I do. It ruined it for me. I didn't give a shit about it as soon as I saw it. I was like...
I love that those trailers clearly aren't done. They don't have sound effects. Mm-hmm. Some of them don't have voice acting. They don't have a voice actress for Rapunzel yet. Yeah, like she looks beautiful. Yeah. The Rapunzel world looks amazing. By far the best.
The animations for it look awesome.
And then she doesn't have a voice. And then you go to Frozen and they're all voiced and stuff, but they're like it's like this
for
game.
some reason Pinocchio's in here too. And we're all little wooden boys.
This game isn't done, guys.
No, it's super weird.
But anyway, okay, so we're giving it to Sony.
I'm giving it to Sony.
All right, I'll give it to Sony too. Nick, I think, would give it to Bethesda over Nintendo, but I don't want to speak for him. He can clear the air of that. Anything else you want to say? Closing thoughts on E3? I do agree. I think it was a weak E3 overall.
I do think it was.
I don't think it was bad. I just think it was in the past years. I think they've all been stronger. I do think this was Microsoft's strongest showing in the past couple of years.
I think my biggest complaint with it is there was so many things that I was expecting that didn't come, and I was really disappointed about
just in E3 in general. Mm-hmm. Yeah, my biggest complaint, Nintendo, they didn't have that through line, and it felt like a direct and not an E3 conference. Sony had the weird, awesome presentation that they gave up on halfway through, and Microsoft, I liked what they did. The Division thing in the middle was weak, but all the games that I want to play are third-party games. Mm-hmm. Every single one is coming to PlayStation. There wasn't a single exclusive
all the big
game
first-party games
excited for.
All the big first-party games were just trailers.
Also, they were no. Gears 5 had gameplay.
That's fair. Yeah, I guess Halo Infinite was
and Forza.
Halo, yeah, fuck that game. Halo Infinite was the big one that was just like a shot in the foot. Like, what the fuck is this game? What the fuck is this trailer? What's going on, guys?
Yeah, it was weird.
It was like
at least better than
basically
Bethesda's.
like Elder Scrolls 6.
I was gonna say it was better than Elder Scrolls and Bethesda. At least there were some
That's why I rated
characters
it
and
higher.
shit. Yeah.
But we're arguing Microsoft versus PlayStation. I don't think it's even close.
All right.
Like, PlayStation had the best conference, but they didn't follow through all the way. Microsoft had the same conference that they've had for 15 years and more shit in it. They spent more money to buy some companies to make people happy with their conference.
Yeah, and their games aren't going to be done in forever. I don't know. Okay. I'm done talking about this. How about you?
Yeah, I'm so thirsty.
You can go get that water. Thank you for watching this episode of the Press X Podcast. If you made it this far, thank you for being here.
Thanks for having me. That was fun.
And thank you, Nick, for coming over earlier and talking about those segments that we did before. And thank you guys so much for watching. We will speak with you next time.